just put on the hard pin, it's okay.
Okie dokie.
And you can stay as long as you want.
Okie dokie
How
Pinocchio.
you can kill that? Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're so bad.
We're gonna listen to old President Trump together.
Yeah, it's slightly loud. I'll take it.
I don't think I've listened to President Trump speak anything live since he became president.
I just reached out to somebody today about it.
I don't think I have done such a thing. So now we can test and see if it feels like he's been compromised, and like some people are asserting.
It's literally.
Uh-oh. Hey Derek, what's up, buddy? I don't know what this atrocious noise is. Maybe they're testing 5G. See if all the people in the room just fall down. Yeah, I haven't watched the news in literally forever. I haven't watched it in probably years and years and years. Okay, I've watched it recently, but on accident. What is this noise?
Do you and your team need to work remotely? Monday.com brings your team
You
together.
working? Are you working at the same place,
So
Derek?
you can get
Okay, so there's no noise now. Maybe it was just on my computer.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Don't touch your face. Hey! Stop that. I can touch my face.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
5, 6, 7,
Kind of
8,
plastic. Yep.
9, 10.
Well, we know the mic works anyway. It's a good thing. I think. Get some fire. A little bit of fire going here. We're moving into our apartment today. I was always hoping that we'd be able to finally get stability before the world ended, but I'm not sure if that's going to be able to happen or not. Hopefully, though. Palo Santo, you smell a little funky today. A little funky. How so? So Oregon has, and I think I can search it, but according to Andrea, Oregon has instituted a no evictions for 6-month policy, I believe. Can't even type. Or emergency. Tenants are entitled to 90 days notice of no cause eviction. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Oh, maybe it's not even. Huh. Google is behind the times. Oregon coronavirus eviction. Throw some keywords in there. There we go. See, you just have to know what keywords to use. Portland, Multnomah County enact temporary moratorium. So that's death. So they're got the machine gun. See evictions over there. And they're like, fuck you, evictions. They're enacting the temporary war on evictions. This is great news. As the economic impacts of the coronavirus pandemic continue to mount, Portland and Multnomah County leaders announced Tuesday they will place a moratorium on most residential evictions for the duration of the crisis. This is great news because we're just moving in. Maybe they should place a moratorium on rent payments in general. I think that would be great too. In an effort to keep people in their homes through the state of emergency issued by the county, landlords will not be able to evict people who have fallen behind on rent payments. Those who are behind due to a loss of income related to COVID-19 will be given a 6-month grace period to pay back their rent after the state of emergency is over. There will be no late fees. Those who can't pay their rent or mortgage for reasons unrelated to the virus will not be at risk of eviction. But they will not have the 6-month period to make payments. So only if you're directly affected by the so-called coronavirus will you have the 6-month grace period. Anybody else, you gotta pay your shit immediately. I.e., after the state of emergency is over, you have to basically cough up however much you've fallen behind immediately. So you can't be among the majority of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? Hope everybody understands. Nobody at risk of homelessness should be removed from their home during this crisis or because of this crisis. If you're going to become homeless, you need to do it on your own terms. It needs to be your sole responsibility that you are becoming homeless. The state cannot be involved in this endeavor and push toward homelessness.
I don't know why I'm somebody else, but can you text me or email me whatever it is that comes from? Because I've been texting for a second.
In a prime example of the mile-a-minute nature in which policy decisions are being made during the pandemic, Mayor Ted Wheeler, that's our mayor, had originally joined Multnomah. I should do a show with Ted Wheeler. How about that? How about I do a snail show with Ted Wheeler and he could talk about emergency policies? Mayor Ted Wheeler had originally joined Multnomah County Chair Deborah Kafoury at Tuesday's press conference to announce the city's own moratorium on evictions. That rule was scratched an hour after the conference as it became clearer that the county's moratorium superseded the one created by the city, thereby making Portland's own version unnecessary. Tomorrow the city, that's called redundancy. Tomorrow, the city will vote to adopt the county's moratorium within city limits. Multnomah County's state of emergency is set to expire April 10th, though officials expect it will run longer. April 10th? That's what, 2 weeks? Roughly? No, that's 22 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus 10. 23 days is what they expect it to run on this particular article. How long does it take for a president to show up to one of these types of things? Does anybody know? Is it like 10 to 15 minutes usually? Or longer than that? Or less? 5 minutes? 2 hours?
Hey, Caesar. The controller says maybe you're hear me off tonight.
I don't know. YouTube, why are you updating yourself without my permission? So, oh, someone's about to speak. Nope. I'm scared. I don't want to speak. My head is too bald. Facebook spying on us is good. Yeah? What are we doing here? Oh, protecting Ron's thing. Okay. So let's go on over to YouTube. I have a feeling the panic level got too high for Ron to be receiving too many more donations. He got one from, what's her name? Anne Callahan in Ireland, and he got a random. I tried doing a little bit of promoting on Twitter, it didn't really work. Kind of worked. You know, I need to send an email to Janice? Is that her name? See, Hamish was supposed to promote this on his stream, but he's kind of slacking on that. I don't think he's going to do it. He said he was going to, and he's not doing it. I'm not a fan of that type of behavior. GoFundMe. I'm going to check both campaigns. You actually watching chess right now? Instead, I'm listening to Trump talk about stuff. Maybe I could listen to chess and Trump at the same time. Is that too much multitasking? Who's this guy? Okay. Ron Reclaim. Ron Reclaim. Here we go. Nope, we're still at 786. And at 786 it shall stay. Unless it changes.
Go for it.
22 donors. That's still pretty good. Either way. 8, 10, 25, 10, 33, 50, 10, 100, 50, 15, 20. See, Hamish donated, and he said he was going to promote it on his thing, but he didn't. Maybe he didn't yet. 10, 50, 25, 25, 200, 20, 50, 25, and 20. I'm happy with it regardless. Ron's already saved 200. That brings the total almost to 1,000, which means he has another around 350, maybe 400 to go on his own. So, within a year, I would say, at the minimum, at the maximum, a year. Go, woman, speak. What you got to say? Is she nervous? I can't tell. Her hair is very straight. Straight hair. I think she's uncomfortable holding that phallic object in front of all these people. She doesn't know what to do with it. She doesn't know what to do with this hand right here. What should I do with my hand? Can it just sit there and not move? Is that possible? Or should I fidget all the time? Should I fidget up? Tap my waist. Okay, stay hand. You don't need to move. There is no function for you at this moment. Okay, good. It's staying still. This is great. Up. Okay, let's just do the tap dance. That's an acceptable social gesture. We can fiddle a little bit. That's totally fine. No facial expressions, though. That's too much. Okay. Let's allow the other hand some freedom here. Hand in pocket. That's a comfortable professional pose. Everybody understands that. Small smile is okay. A secret, furtive nod to the man across the way to show that I'm in connection with something somehow, and I'm not just making all this up. Okay. Switcheroo. Switch back to the other hand. What?
2-minute warning before the briefing begins. 2-minute warning.
We think the president is coming? What? What is going on? Hey, eyes open to truth. Who is this? Working while there's still work. Eyes open to truth. What's your name? Are you Gia? You're not Gia, are you? I think you might be Gia. No, you're not. Are you? Yeah, you are. I don't know. But hello. Hello and welcome. Oh, we got more people standing up. Okie dokie. Something's about to happen. They all look very at ease. Comfortable, relaxed postures. Okay. This is fully in the whole situation normal, not fucked up. Okay. We know exactly what's going on, and we're about to inform you, the valuable public. I'm not kissing you, I'm just saying something to you. Okay. Oh, President Trump has arrived. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I would like to begin by announcing some important developments in our war against the Chinese virus.
Why do you look so angry?
We'll be invoking the Defense Production Act just in case we need it. In other words, I think you all know what it is, and it can do a lot of good things if we need it, and we will have it all completed, signing it in just a little while, right after I'm finished with this conference. I'll be signing it. It's prepared to go. So we will be invoking the Defense Production Act.
Defense
Last week I
Protection
signed an emergency declaration under the Stafford Act, which, as you know, we invoked previously, and which activated FEMA's National Response Coordination Center. FEMA now is fully engaged at the highest levels. Today, FEMA is activated in every region. We are at level one being the highest level, which we will
FEMA's activated?
work with, and we've been working with FEMA. I've done a lot of work with FEMA. They're incredible. It's always been on hurricanes or tornadoes. They're right now in Tennessee, a large group working in Tennessee. Have been incredible. That was a tragic event. Alabama last year, also a tornado, and then obviously the numerous hurricanes in different locations that were, in some cases, very devastating, and in every case, FEMA came through. This is a very different kind of a work for FEMA, but they will come through, as they always do. We have
Federal
tremendous people, tremendous talent in
Agency.
FEMA. We're sending, upon request, the 2 hospital ships. They're being prepared right now.
It looks healthy enough to
Massive
me.
ships. They're the big white ships with the Red Cross on the sides. One is called the Mercy and the other is called the Comfort. And they are in tip-top shape. They soon will be. They're getting ready to come up to New York. I spoke with Governor Cuomo about it. He's excited about it. And I also, we haven't made the final determination as to where it's going to go on the West Coast. The Comfort is located now in San Diego, and it's going to be, we'll be picking the destination fairly shortly. So those 2 ships are
Smile, look, you did a
being
little
prepared
smile.
to go, and they can be launched over the next week or so, depending on need. Earlier this week, the first clinical trial of the vaccine candidate for the virus began in Washington State, as you probably know. The genetic sequence of the virus was first published in
Who else is
January. But thanks to the unprecedented partnership between the FDA, NIH, and the private sector, we've reached human trials for the vaccine just 8 weeks later. That's a record by many, many months. It used to take years to do this, and now we did it just in a very short while. That's the fastest development in history of what we're doing with regard to the vaccine, making very, very big progress. Today I can announce further steps to expand testing capacity. We're working with several groups to determine if the self-swab, a much easier process than the current process that's not very nice to do, I can tell you, because I did it.
Yeah.
But we have a current process that's a little bit difficult. If you have it done, the groups are working on determining if a self-swab by an individual is as effective as the other. The other is very effective, very accurate. But we're going to see if we can do a self-swab, which is would be a lot more popular, I can tell you that. So, and that would be administered also by a health official, but it would be a lot easier to do. The fact is that the health professionals would free up a lot. Let me just say, the self swab is what it is. It's a self swab. You do it yourself. The other has to be issued by a health professional, and it's something that is quite difficult. And we think it's working out for the self swab. And if it would test positive, the people would go and they would do what they have to do. But we think that's probably working out. I've asked the FDA to cut through the red tape and reduce regulatory barriers. We are looking at some very exciting things, and I'm going to be holding a second news conference either today. We're going to talk about the FDA. Some things are happening that are quite exciting, and we're going to be doing that either later today or tomorrow, fairly early tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But the FDA, my instructions is I've been working very, very hard on a number of developments, and we'll be discussing them with you later today or tomorrow. And this afternoon, I'll be meeting with nurses on the front lines of the battle against the virus. They're truly American heroes. They want to get it done. They're incredible people. So we're going to be meeting with nurses, and I actually look forward to that. They're very brave. They're taking a lot of risk, and they have done an incredible job, and they never complain. Today I'm also
Have us
announcing that the Department of Housing and Urban Development is providing immediate relief to renters and homeowners by suspending all foreclosures and
This
evictions
is the only
until the
way
end of
any big
April.
change could happen for the sleeping masses. It has to be under. Well, we can't tell them anything about what's really going on, so let's make up some tremendous bullshit that we have. There's no way they're going to be able to buy this, but this is what we must do, right? And people are kind of buying it.
So we're working very closely with Dr. Ben Carson and everybody from HUD. Every generation of Americans has been called to make shared sacrifices for the good of the nation.
Hast
In
thou
World War
your
II, young
popcorn?
people in their teenage years volunteered to fight. They wanted to fight so badly because they love our country. Workers
Fight the
refused to go home and slept on factory floors to keep assembly lines running. And the numbers of ships that they built during World War II to this day nothing like that has ever been equal. They were doing ships literally on a daily basis. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And to this day, nobody's seen anything like that, what they were able to do during World War II. And now it's our time. We must sacrifice together
Guy
because
Pence?
we are
Is that Mike Pence?
all in this together, and we'll come through together. It's the invisible enemy. That's always the toughest enemy, the invisible enemy. But we're going to defeat the invisible
There you
enemy.
go.
I think we're going to do it even faster than
You're saying something real
we
there.
thought. And it will be a complete victory. It'll be a total victory. So we'll have a second conference, again, having to do with the FDA and this. I think it's going to be potentially a very exciting news conference.
That is Mike Pence.
And
Look
we'll
at I
do it as
knew
quickly as
a
we can, so
politician's
whether
name.
it's today or tomorrow. And I'll,
I'm very proud of myself.
with that, ask
That's great.
Mike Pence to say a few words, and thank you very much.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. President. The White House Coronavirus Task Force met this morning, and now that we have cases in all 50 states, we're continuing to move out on the President's call to bring the full resources of the federal government, the full partnership with every state and territory, the full power of the American economy to support businesses and families. As the President says to us and every day, we'll do whatever it takes. We're all in this together. Yesterday, the President met with the tourism industry executives and also had an engaging discussion with all the top companies in our industrial and medical supply chain. The President, as you all are aware, also announced today that by mutual consent, the northern border to Canada will be closed to non-essential travel. This does not include essential travel or the transit of goods, but
What's
it was
essential
through
travel?
mutual discussion that took place this morning between the President and Prime Minister Trudeau, and the Department of Homeland Security will be effectuating that decision. The President spoke with some of the nation's top business leaders today, again, to speak about the supply chain in the country. For our part, we're going to be conducting a conference call later today with state and local health officials to renew our ongoing commitment of cooperation and collaboration. As the President said last week in signing the Stafford Act, he stood up the National Response Coordination Center, and today at the President's direction, FEMA has gone to level 1. FEMA's mission is to support disasters that are locally executed, state-managed, and federally supported. And tomorrow, the President will be hosting all the nation's governors from a video conference at FEMA to ensure that they have full connection to all of the activated regions for FEMA going forward. With regard to testing, I'm pleased to report that we're increasing the number of tests being performed by the thousands every day, thanks to the public-private partnership that President Trump forged with commercial laboratories around the country. Our health experts tell us to remind every American, it's important to remember, people without symptoms should not get tested. We want to make sure that the supply of testing is there for those that need it most or are symptomatic or in the vulnerable population. Dr. Deborah Birx in a moment will address the progress that we're making on testing, the infection rate, our recommendations to every American, as well as some important new findings about the impact on youth that we're gaining from data that's coming in from Europe that'll be important to every American. On the subject of supplies, the President has our task force extremely focused. As the President mentioned mentioned that he's invoking the Defense Production Act today. Secretary Esper in a few moments will describe the ongoing efforts that the Department of Defense is taking to make medical resources available. Secretary Robert Wilkie will announce decisions the VA has made to expand hospital capacity within their system. Also, with regard to medical personnel, at the President's direction, HHS is issuing a regulation today that will allow all doctors and medical professionals to practice across state lines to meet the needs of hospitals that may arise in adjoining areas. In addition to that, we are again today asking every American and our medical community leaders and hospitals to partner with us in delaying elective procedures across the country in our healthcare system to ensure that medical supplies and medical capacity go where they're needed most. Seema Verma will describe guidance that CMS will be issuing on that front. And finally, I want to remind every American of the President's 15-day guidance to slow the spread. We're grateful for members of the media and the general public that are adhering to these, sharing them with neighbors and friends. All of our experts continue to believe that if every American will do their part and embrace and put into practice these principles, that we can significantly limit the reach of the coronavirus in the weeks.
How's it over there in Ireland, eh?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
What's it look like on the streets?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. So, we continue to look at data every single day. There are concerning reports coming out of France and Italy about some young people getting seriously ill and very seriously ill in the ICUs. We think part of this may be that people heeded the early data coming out of China and coming out of South Korea that the elderly or those with pre-existing medical conditions were at particular risk.
But you forgot to tell the kids to wash their hands.
The millennial generation, our largest generation, our future generation,
you told the old people to wash their hands,
for the next
but the kids, you just forgot.
There may be disproportional number of infections among that group.
My goodness.
And so even if it's a rare occurrence, it may be seen more frequently in that group and be evident now. So we're looking at that information very carefully.
So in addition to old people, also children exist.
Mortality
in case you hadn't noticed, there are some smaller
humans. But we are concerned about the early reports coming out of Italy and France. So again, I'm going to call on that generation that's part of that group that brought us innovation, particularly throughout all of their ability to look around corners and skip through games. I always went level by level. I didn't realize that you could go from level 3 to level 7. That's what they've taught us. They look for things that we don't see. We need them to be healthy. So again, not only calling on you to heed what's in the guidance, but to really ensure that each and every one of you are protecting each other. And so we cannot have these large gatherings that continue to occur throughout the country for people who are off work to then be socializing in large groups and spreading the virus. You have the potential to spread it to someone who does have a condition that none of us knew about and cause them to have a disastrous outcome. Finally, on the testing piece and what we're learning, I know last week in bringing the private sector, I think what has been exciting to me over the last 2.5 weeks is to see this administration harness the full capacity of the private sector, understanding that a lot of our solutions that we need to confront this virus rely on the private sector. Bringing the private sector commercial labs was critical into this process. We are now beginning to see that they have spread out in a prioritized way because we asked them to prioritize the regions that were mostly affected. And so you still may have difficulty getting tests in areas that do not have significant cases. We've had them prioritize the regions where we need diagnosis and their diagnostic percent. Remember I told you South Korea was under 4%, so 96% of people were negative. The last report we've seen from the laboratories have about a 7+% positivity rate.
I can't turn on my
phone. Still 93+% or 92% are negative. But I think that's encouraging to me personally.
Is that better?
Prioritizing appropriately to those areas that have the greatest need. Today and yesterday, Thermo Fisher pushed out.
You want to hear
most
me
of
and not
their
this person?
laboratory,
Okay.
testing capacity, and that will dramatically increase that platform and the ability to run additional tests.
Can you
in
still
addition to
hear her?
Roche. So I appreciate everybody's attention to these numbers. I'm excited that we've prioritized
I wanna hear
where
Nima
the
speak.
need was the greatest. But again, please follow the guidance and please make sure in every report that you're putting out that you're talking about the presidential guidance
Okay.
to actually stop the spread of this virus. Thank you.
Today's Wednesday. We're going to move into our part.
So good afternoon, everyone, and
So we're
I
gonna get in there at
want
least
to
one
provide
day
an update
before
on
the world
DOD's coronavirus efforts as we continue to focus on our three priorities. That's first of all, protecting our personnel and their families. Second, safeguarding our national security mission capabilities. And third, of course, supporting the administration's whole of government approach. First of all, though, I do want to assure the American people that the United States military remains ready and capable of defending the country and our interests abroad. Now, with that, the
Yeah,
Department
we'll
is
shoot
moving
that
forward in
coronavirus
response
right
to
out the sky.
COVID-19.
Don't
We've
you
issued
worry.
international and domestic travel restrictions to all DoD personnel
Our
and families.
F-16 fighter
That
jets
should
can
dramatically
shoot
reduce
that
potential
coronavirus right
exposure
out of
to
your
the virus.
mind.
Those have
Okay?
been in place for some time now. As I announced yesterday, the Department of Defense will make available up to 5 million N95 respirator masks and other personal protective equipment from our own strategic reserves to the Department of Health and Human Services for distribution. The first 1 million masks will be available immediately. We're also prepared to distribute to HHS up to 2,000 operational deployable ventilators for use as needed. Yesterday, I was at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is probably the military's premier research institute, where I got updated on the incredible work our people are doing as part of the interagency team to work on vaccines and therapeutics. They're making great progress there. We also have announced that we've...
I just don't know how you can speak so many words and say not anything at all.
16th lab to help with processing
How is
tests
this even
across the
possible?
country.
I
Additionally,
speak a
I'm
lot of
directed,
words, and
as the
sometimes I say that I'm not saying
President
anything, but I am
mentioned,
saying
that
something
Hospital
without
Mercy
saying
and
anything.
Company
He's saying
deploy
nothing while
increase
saying
the
nothing.
nation's medical capacity.
Like, that's
And we have also alerted a variety
That's skillful.
of field and expeditionary hospitals to be prepared to deploy as well as needed, based on direction from
That's
the
very
Commander-in-Chief.
skillful.
Today, leadership from the Army Corps of Engineers is in New York, meeting with Governor Cuomo and his team. I spoke with Governor Cuomo yesterday, and other governors. I will be speaking to more in the coming days to make sure that they know what DoD can provide.
Are you guys scared? Like,
to address their needs? In my
are y'all
conversations with
trembling
governors
in your seats right
and
now?
members of Congress about DoD's
Just watching the
resources, I've made it
coronavirus
clear
just
that we will continue
sweep
to
through the
support
streets and
the
just dead
administration's,
people everywhere?
Comprehensive
Are you-
efforts
is
in the
everyone
country
scared?
every step of the way
You should
on
be.
ensuring our nation's security remains the top priority.
Bodies stacking
I
up
want
by
to
the
conclude by
freeway.
thanking again all of our service members and their families who have been affected by this outbreak. They are all great heroes. We are continuing to support them throughout this. We are all in this together. Thank you all very much.
Nima,
So yesterday, the president made a very important announcement about telehealth, and this is allowing our 62 million seniors to be able to get some medical services from the safety of their home.
Can you help Ron
reducing
get
the
his
risk
teeth?
and without any copays.
Hmm?
But we're also making sure that the healthcare system
Would you like-
is prepared,
Nima,
and that
would you
those
like to
on
help
the
Ron
front
get his
lines
teeth?
have the support that they need. The reality
Is that
is
possible?
the stakes are high, and we need to preserve personal protective equipment for those that are on the
the
front
mind
lines of
virus
this
scares
fight.
you?
And to that end, we have put out guidelines
Yeah, that
over
motherfucker
the last
actually is
2 weeks
scary.
to expand the types of masks that can be used in routine
Most
care
definitely.
and saving those N95s for the most risky situations. Conserving personal protective equipment is also essential to combat the virus. So today, CMS will announce detailed
Thinking brain says no,
recommendations
sleeping brain
to
says
promote this
worry.
needed conservation.
Okay.
Specifically by limiting non-essential elective medical and surgical procedures, including dental procedures. We believe that these
Frontal lobe
recommendations will help surgeons,
says no.
patients, and hospitals prioritize what is essential while leaving the ultimate
Subconscious
decision
brain
in the
says
hands of state and local
yes.
health officials and those clinicians who have direct responsibility to their patients. And we urge providers and clinicians and patients to seriously consider these recommendations. They will not only preserve equipment, but it
Don't
also
you touch
allows
your face.
doctors and nurses to help those that are on the front lines.
Don't
and
you
it'll
dare
protect
touch your face.
patients from unnecessary exposure to the virus.
Stop
We
wearing your
fully
ineffective
appreciate that this is going to have a
non-N95
major
face masks,
impact on the healthcare
douchebags.
system. But the shared sacrifice is essential to help those that are on the front lines. And I want to thank the medical societies such as the American College of Surgeons and the American Dental Association that took a proactive approach and already posted these
Proactive
recommendations.
does not work for
And
acne.
we've
I
also
tried it.
talked to the American Medical Association, and they have fully indicated their support.
There's
for
a
this
boob
recommendation.
intruding from the
We now
right-hand
invite
side
the
of the
entire
screen.
healthcare community
Just one
to join
boob.
us in this effort. Thank you.
Boob intrusion. It's an elderly boob.
Thank you, Mr.
Still
President.
a boob nonetheless.
My instructions from the President were very clear.
Ooh, who is this guy?
I was to do everything
Looks like
imaginable
a gerbil.
as aggressively as possible to protect the 9.5 million veterans who are part of the Department of Veterans Affairs.
That's some.
Last month,
That's
we
the type of
established
haircut.
19 emergency operations centers across
Who
the
is
country.
this?
We began to
He's got like a
limit
slant wave
the
going
number
on.
of visitors who entered our facilities. We began, I think, we were the first system to begin triaging
He's been
across
feeding himself
the
relatively
country in
well,
our
it looks like.
170 hospitals, the entrance of anyone into our facility without being questioned or tested. We expanded those restrictions to those in our 135 community living centers, which have about 7,800 veterans who are in acute
Oh, the veterans. You want to talk about
conditions
veterans?
to make sure that they were protected. We
And
also
how well the
took the
the
next
United
step
States has
and
taken
made
care
sure
of them?
That we limited the dental surgeries that we were provided. We've cut back by 1/3 the number of routine appointments we have had, and we have canceled elective
Yeah, if
surgeries.
anybody knows how to take care of our
These were
veterans,
all
it's the
part
United
of the
States.
President's directive to be as aggressive in a public health sense as we could be.
You know
I
how
think
many
we
veterans you could
set
feed
the
with
pace
this
for the
one
entire
suit
country.
that you're wearing?
I will say,
If we got these guys just butt fucking naked right now, Trump's clothes come off, Neema's clothes come off, Mr. Pence's clothes come off, boobs clothes come off, and this chunky guy.
Americans.
How much money could we get from all these clothes?
Responded clearly. They have responded.
How many homeless veterans could we feed with all these suits?
400,000 members of our department.
And then you could see that the emperor has no clothes.
The last thing
And they
I
could
would
get a
say
little dose of
is that you've heard a
humility.
lot about the
They could
fourth
see,
mission
yeah,
that
look
the
at,
VA has.
we're just human.
The first three
It's got,
missions
like,
are
dicks
healthcare
and balls
benefits
and
memorial affairs.
tits.
Our fourth mission is to support the federal government in its
Oh, we can stop acting like
natural
dumbasses.
disasters.
We can talk like normal human beings.
We are the buttress force.
I think it could be
In
good.
case that FEMA or HHS calls upon us to deploy medical professionals across the country to meet crises. We plan for that every day.
Oh.
We're gaming out emergency preparedness scenarios.
Oh, yes, this is what I need to
We
do.
stand ready when the president
I need to
needs
send
us
an
to
email
respond.
to McAfee's wife.
Any questions?
And ask her if she can promote Ron, maybe on one of their Twitters. If I can get one power player anywhere to promote Ron, even in these turbulent times, I think I can push him up to 1,300.
Yeah. No, I don't agree. That's a absolute total worst case scenario. But no, we
I
don't
think
do
that's
that.
possible.
We're nowhere near it.
Why do you keep calling this the
So has
Chinese
anybody
virus? There
in the
are
channel,
reports
have any of
incidents
you
of
lost
bias
work?
against
Or do you know
Chinese
anyone
veterans in
who's
this
being
country.
laid off?
Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says
I'm kind of
he does
curious
not
about
use
that
this
one.
term because ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this?
Ethnicity doesn't cause the virus?
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why.
Yeah, if you're Chinese, then you get the virus automatically.
I have great love for all of the people from our country, but
Yes.
as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen. Not as long as I'm president. It comes from China. John, please.
Two questions, if I could, Mr. President. First of all, on the Defense Procurement Act, you were invoking it today. Senator Schumer
Yes.
said on the floor a short time ago that it urgently needs to be put into action.
GF is remote working for the next 6 weeks.
Particularly
Okay.
ventilators. Do you have some targets that you would like to see immediately spooled up under the
We
act?
do have. We have tremendous numbers of ventilators, but there's never been an instance like this where no matter what you have, it's not enough. That would be the case. We will
Musician
be.
friend, all work
It's
canceled.
being signed. It's essentially drawn, and I'm going to sign it in just a little while. If we need to use it, we'll be using it at full speed ahead.
You said it's urgently needs to be used. Do you have some
Well,
targets?
we're going to know whether
Full
it's
speed
urgent.
ahead.
We will. Yeah, we do have targets. We have targets for certain pieces of equipment. We have targets for masks. The masks, the numbers of masks are incredible. We've ordered millions of them, but we need millions more. A thing like this has never been requested, and we've never had to even think in terms of these numbers, but we need millions of masks, and all of that will be ordered. We need respirators. We need ventilators is a big thing because it's a complex piece of equipment. So we have a lot of ventilators, but we're going to be ordering more.
And second question, what size will the checks be that will be sent out
to be determined? We're working with the
EVD.
Senate right now. We're working with everybody on Capitol Hill. There's been tremendous. There really has been. I mean, with some exceptions, obviously.
I do like Trump's optimism.
But there has been. They've been getting along very well, Republicans and Democrats. It's a nice thing, very bipartisan, so forth.
Even if he has to talk about the
Well, we're going to see.
bullshit
I don't want to
level
get
one
into that right now, John. We
pretend
are
level
looking at different
of
numbers.
everything.
We're looking at timing that would be different, splitting the time.
He's still like,
splitting
he has
the
an
payments. We're looking at
admirable
a lot of different things.
tenacity.
Hasn't been determined yet, but it will shortly be determined, and people want to go big as opposed. Everybody seems to want to go big, and they want to get to the recovery. The big day is the big thing we can do is get rid of this horrible. I call it the unseen enemy. You call it. There's 1,000 different terms for it, but whatever it snuck up on us, and
It didn't sneak up.
It did 128 countries, I think. It's
been here the entire time.
Very close to that. Think of that. So it spreads violently.
I'm not
it's
cashing
very
any
contagious.
checks. Why not?
Very, very contagious virus.
100% all in, baby. Yep.
I do. I actually do. I'm looking at it that way because if it got out of control, the big thing we did was a very early stoppage.
Oh, Yaldabaoth is all in.
Very, very heavily infected. That was a very good move, and it was very early.
The Ouroboros is about to take the last fight out of its own ass, just trying to
really
finish the whole self-consumption process.
I look at it. I view it as a.
And it wants
in a sense,
to somehow get all you guys in there too. It's like, how do I get my mouth around the last piece of me and get the rest of the whole entire universe? I'm so hungry. That's what Yaldi
6
does.
weeks ago were the best they've ever been. We're the
He
best
just wants to
economy
eat.
we've ever had. And then one day you have to close it down.
He wants to
in
eat
order
you.
defeat
He wants
this
to eat
enemy.
me.
And
He wants to eat everybody.
We're doing it, and we're doing it well. And I tell you, the
And
American
himself.
people have been incredible. For the most part, they've been really incredible. Yeah, please, Caitlin.
That's the invisible one that Trump's talking about. He's
You just
talking
said
about the
there are a
mind virus.
tremendous number of ventilators that we have, but for weeks, hospitals have been warning about a critical shortage that they say we are not prepared for. So why did it take so long to invoke the defense production?
Does anybody want to come on and have a chat? Anyone want to join me?
We have thousands of ventilators. It sounds like a lot.
Is anyone feeling frisky?
But this is a very unforeseen thing. Nobody ever thought of these numbers. Nobody ever saw numbers like this. Even with regard to testing, normally we wouldn't be doing testing, and they decided to do it. Very, very hard to ramp up. Now we're getting highly sophisticated tests, and it's going very well, but nobody's ever heard of testing.
I thought
the
Matt-
quantities that you're talking about.
His video was interesting. He was talking about dying and whatnot.
Well, we knew. It depends. It depends
He
on
changed
how it
up a
goes.
little bit.
Worst case, absolutely. Best case, not at all. So we're going to have to see where it goes. But we are ordering
He said, be like Jesus.
thousands and thousands of ventilators. And
Don't
they're
bind
complex.
yourself to the
These are
realm.
complex machines, and but we're ordering them. Does anybody have a mic? Maybe you do.
I don't want to hear your saw. Are you currently at work,
Yeah, please.
Derek?
You know the number?
We have a
They
specific
don't care if
number
you're just like
that
watching
is in
YouTube.
stockpile. It's in excess of 10,000.
The toilet roll
Just
on you
from
guys?
the
Yeah.
Department of Defense, they'll be adding several more thousand to that. But the President, even this morning and yesterday afternoon, speaking with the largest companies in the supply chain of this country, we're hearing a tremendous spirit among industry leaders who are ready to step in.
Yeah, red and blue is
add to
purple.
that volume.
The cop
The
force is the
stockpiles
queen.
don't count all of the ventilators that exist
I think the
today
queen has been
in the
deposed,
marketplace and in healthcare facilities around the country.
Pretty sure.
But the President's given us a directive to make sure that our stockpile, but just as importantly, working with industry leaders, that we're securing
That's pretty good, Derek.
an increase in ventilators.
I'm glad you have
increase in masks,
such
gloves,
liberty to be playing
eye
around on
protective
YouTube while you're
care,
supposed to be working.
garments that are all necessary to lean forward. And we're confident we'll be able to accomplish that with the incredible cooperation of the supply chain that exists in America today.
Do you have an exact number for nationwide how many ventilators we have?
We can give you that exact number. We'll give it to you. But we're ordering a lot more.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead in the back.
One question for the VA Secretary. I have one question.
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second, Kate. We'll do it in a second. You'll be able to.
Questions. Thank you.
Yes.
The first one on the Canadian border. What was the tipping point? Friday we talked about it. Then Monday you
Trump
said
is not
you were
cloned.
considering
No, I said
closing the
not yet. I spoke with
Trump
the
is
Prime
completely
Minister
fine.
Trudeau.
This orange man is just
Very
sticky.
good relationship, obviously, between us and our two countries, and no tipping point. It's just that we want to isolate from
It's
the
just
standpoint
orange.
we don't want people
That's the
coming
only
into contact
thing
because
about
that's the
him
way
is
we're
that
going
he's
to win
orange.
this war. That is so important, and we both thought it was time. Now it's not affecting trade.
And his hair is like,
It's non-essential. It's
you can't even
non-essential
focus on his hair. It's so
It
soft
won't
and
affect
blurry.
trade at all.
It's like those
and,
blurry clouds that I shot
which
over
is
San
something we
Francisco
thought
that
would
one
be
time.
good for both countries. Yes, please.
The second question, Mr. President, how can you be sure that trade
Go ahead.
is not going to be a vector of the virus? How can you be sure that trade and everything that's being shipped from one side?
Well, they're doing it in a very careful manner. You can only be vigilant and very professional, but we're not. It's not pertaining at this moment to trade between the two countries. Yeah, please.
We are hearing that the $1 trillion economic stimulus package could look something like $50 billion for the airlines, $150 billion in loan guarantees for critical sectors of the economy, a $250 billion payment on April 6th directly to individuals, another $250 billion payment on May 18th, again, directly to individuals, and as well, $300 billion for small business loan guarantees.
Are we getting $1,000 a piece?
It could be. It could be, and we're also playing with a lot of numbers, a lot of very big numbers.
I heard
and very
that.
small numbers, frankly. We want to
I
take
could
care.
use
We have to
$1,000.
help everybody. It was nobody's fault. This happened. I mean, some people could say it was somebody's fault, actually. But it was nobody's fault, and certainly none of these companies that all of a sudden had no passengers in planes and had no passengers on cruise ships and all of the things that have happened. But I will say that they can't be blamed for this, and we want to keep those companies vibrant because there's going to be a comeback very, very quickly as soon as this is solved, and it will be solved. We will win, and there will be a comeback. And
Maybe I can get Omar to come on.
There's,
Omar.
give or take, 330 million Americans.
Where are you at,
so
my
just
friend?
Do the math on that. That's about $750.
I'm just going to send him a link and see if he just pops
That would
on.
be about
I'm not going to tell him
$3,000
anything. I'll just
again, rough math.
telepathically say, Omar,
I don't want to say
you're
that
coming
because
on
it's moving.
for an
These are all
impromptu
gold. Every number
emergency
that you
snail
mentioned,
show.
Yes, we've talked about those numbers. We're also
Omar,
moving
you are
those numbers
coming
in
on.
both directions.
Emergency,
So we'll let you know.
impromptu,
It's
snail
moving
show.
along fast. Again, there's a great
Okay.
bipartisan effort going
Let's see
on.
if I can make this happen. Let's see if Omar can just pop right on. I think this is quite possible. You know what I'm saying?
FDA approved that test.
No, they're looking at it. They're looking. It's down the line, and they're looking at it
Omar?
very seriously. And I think it would be a great thing because
Omar?
there's to
Copy,
use a
girl.
nice word. It's very
Okay.
inconvenient. It's very tough.
You tweeted this morning about your approval rating amongst Republicans. You have said that you give
Non-
yourself a 10 in terms
ordinary
of handling this crisis.
time.
How do you reassure Americans at home who don't trust you to handle a crisis?
Let's see if I can confuse Omar.
Well, I think we're doing a really good job. We started off with a termination of the border, the people coming in from China, where
Oh,
this
God,
all
they
started,
terminated the
and
border?
I took it very seriously. And when I use the word calm doesn't mean that I'm not taking it seriously. Calm means, and we should be calm. We should
Thomas
be
Talmadge
extremely
is
calm.
leaving the
But,
platform.
yeah, 95% within the Republican Party and over 50%. And I also have, we have very great approval numbers. I mean, people like the job that we're doing. And when you compare this to other epidemics, or if you want to use a different term, you can, but within this country, and you look at what's happened over the years, this is being handled
I
very,
think
very
Omar
professionally.
will.
We're the greatest professionals
I
in the
think
world.
Omar will be up to
We're doing a
that.
good job. Nobody's ever been swamped like this. And nothing's been so contagious. The level of contagion has been incredible.
The level of
Nobody's
contagion?
seen anything
Who's the
quite
one that
like
said
this.
it's...
Yeah, Peter, go ahead.
Dude, Trump.
For a second, if federal officials have shipped millions of tests, as you and your colleagues have said, why, as the federal government says, have only 59,000 tests been processed?
Y'all
to
are
this
really
point?
out
We
of
just heard
hand,
from
you
the
know that?
Atlanta public health director saying that
You
they
guys
have
with your
fewer
suits,
than 50 test
your
kits
policies,
for more than
just out of
900,000
hand.
citizens. Where are the
Well,
tests?
I'll let Mike.
Out of hand. Y'all need
So
to
that's
step
a very
down.
critical question, and thank you
Stop.
for asking it. So the test kits that we put out last week through the approval
Well, Omar
of the
doesn't appear to
rapid
be
movement,
paying any attention to me,
of that
so...
meeting that President
Maybe
Trump
someone else
called
wants to hop
less
on?
than 2 weeks ago. That has resulted in bringing our private sector to the table. because the test
Let's
in the
see, how do we
platform
do
that
this?
was out there could only
Okay.
run between 4 and 12
And V.
tests per platform.
Okay, you see
per
that
day.
link that I just
Now
posted?
moved into platforms
If anyone's
that can
feeling
run basically tens
if anyone's
of thousands
feeling
of tests per
like
day.
they have a burning
So,
desire
the
to
reason I'm
operate
grateful
the
for your
mouse
question because
function,
it allows me to point out that, of
Come
course,
on.
then there was backlog.
Click on
there
that
were
link.
individuals who had been tested, who hadn't
You're
had
feeling
their
brave.
specimen run because of the slow throughput.
in such a
It's now
time
in a
of
high
dire
speed platform.
pandemic.
So we will see the number of people diagnosed dramatically increase over the next 4 to 5 days. I know some of you will use that to raise an alarm that we are worse than Italy because
Raise
of our
an
slope
alarm?
of our curve.
The alarm
To
hasn't
every
been raised
American
yet?
out there, it will be
You're
5
saying
to
like
6
the alarm
days
is
worth
yet to
of
come?
tests
Is this
being
what you're
run
telling me?
in 24 to 48 hours. So our
The alarm
curves
is
will
not
not
here
be
yet?
stable until sometime next week. The reason I talked about Thermo
Oh
Fisher
my
yesterday
goodness.
is because their platform is in 2,000 laboratories. They're the ones that are putting
Oh
out the million
my
tests this week
goodness.
that will solve the issue that Atlanta and others have brought up. I wanted to be clear. We prioritize the areas. We do county by county analyses. Based
Come
on those
on.
analyses,
Come on, kitties.
on what
Someone wants
counties
to come
have
say
more than
hello.
50 cases,
Come.
we prioritize the
I
test
know one
kits
of you
we
do.
put out, the 400,000. And that's why we're seeing a 7% plus positivity rate. We'll be able to expand that
87,000 people
platform
watching.
and reprioritize based on the accessibility
Comments have been
of the other
disabled.
Perhaps I could follow up. How are non-symptomatic professional athletes getting tests while others are waiting in line and can't get them? Do the well-connected go to the front of the line?
Well, you'd have to ask them that question. I mean,
Yeah.
I've read. No, I wouldn't say so, but perhaps that's been the story of life. That does happen on occasion, and I've noticed where some people
He's
have
not
been
taking the
tested,
bait. Good job,
fairly
Mr.
quickly.
Trump. You're doing great.
Look, we inherited a very.
You're doing great, my
Excuse me.
friend.
Excuse me. We inherited a very obsolete
Lauren, this
system.
is your
was a system
chance to shine.
out of date,
I've been inviting you on this
obsolete,
show
or
for like
it was a
5
system that
years,
was
okay?
never meant to
You're
take care
out of
the
work.
kind of
You
quantity,
have zero
the
excuses not
number
to
of
hop
people
on.
that we're talking about.
None whatsoever.
Millions and millions of people.
None.
If you go back in years past,
N-O-N-E.
like
That's
even
2 N's
recently,
and 2
with the
zeros.
flu, nobody had
Or
tests
something like that.
before. They didn't test the entire nation to see whether or not they had flu.
Come
they got
on,
the
Lauren.
flu, they got better.
Link's right there in the
Hopefully they
comments.
got better, and that was it. Now all of a sudden they do this
Wait.
very complex testing. What we've done is we've broken it down, we've broken up the system, but it was obsolete, and or you could say it was also a
You know I'm
system
right.
that just wasn't meant
You have
to
no
handle
more
the kind of
excuses.
volume that you're talking about. We've rebuilt it into a system that for the future will be a very good system if you want to go this route.
I'm not
But
quite
this was
booted
never
up.
done before, and I would imagine it will be done in the future.
Ron is at
We built it into a very good
$786.
system
Can you believe
by
that?
using private
Pretty good.
companies, the great private companies. And
Omar.
I have to say, Roche has been doing a very
Omar
good job. They're doing
needs
a
to
lot
eat a
of work,
banana?
a very good job. But this was an obsolete
I
system.
think.
This was not a system that was meant to do anything like this or even near this. John,
Look at you, even got a picture on there, Lauren.
There's a major trade coalition.
Maybe, Lauren, are you just
to
shy?
suspend tariffs. With other
I was thinking
countries
that, you know,
as part of the response
due to the
who heads that group? Those countries do.
the crazy nature of your narrative that
I know. I'm sure
powers that
because
be didn't want that information
China's
coming
paying us
out, perhaps.
billions and
But I
billions
think
of dollars
maybe
in
now you're
tariffs,
just
and
shy,
there's no reason to do that. They haven't even spoken to me about
which
that.
is fine.
China
I'm
hasn't
not
asked me to
busting
do
your
that,
balls.
but we're getting billions of dollars a
Someone
year
will come
from
on.
tariffs.
Eventually,
from
Omar
China.
will have his
And
banana.
I can't imagine Americans
join us.
asking for that, but it could be that China will ask for a suspension or something. We'll see what happens. China's having a very rough time. They have their worst year in 76 years, as I understand it. Having a very, very tough time. And then on top of it, this happened with the virus. But no, we're taking in billions of dollars a year in tariffs, and this was caused by something totally unrelated to tariffs.
On asylum seekers and people who cross the southern border illegally, are you planning to invoke 42 U.S.C. 265, which
Corona?
would allow you to prohibit
Virus.
entry of certain people?
The answer is yes. Very soon.
Coronavirus.
Today. Yes.
Coronavirus. Corona. Virus. Oh God.
Well, I think essential is
We're gonna
medical.
die. We're gonna die.
We have military working together. We have industry working together. And again, it's not affecting trade. So things like that. But just leisurely, let's go to a restaurant and have dinner, which a lot of people do. They come both ways. They go in both directions, that kind of thing. We have ended on a temporary basis.
Omar's going to pull through.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We're going to have an impromptu snail
not
show.
going to close it, but we are invoking
What's with the
certain
bell?
provision that
What
will
bell?
allow us great latitude as to what we do. Please. Yeah, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead.
The Wall Street Journal.
What bell?
So I tried to clarify something because just a week ago, you all were standing here telling
Come on
us that unless you had sustained contact with somebody who was symptomatic for COVID-19, you really didn't need to work. You told the president, the vice president, that if they shook hands with somebody who had this, if they took a photograph with somebody who had this, you didn't really need to worry. And yet, several days later, we're in a situation where people are being told, don't leave your houses. There are curfews saying you cannot walk alone at night after a certain time. Can you walk
We
us
have a
through
curfew?
what seems like a very dramatic
I'm 35 years old.
disconnect from
I don't need a curfew. This is nonsense.
So two things. We look
Okay,
at
I'm
data
not
all the
35, I'm
time,
only
and I
34.
know you're looking at the China and South Korea data. And when you look at China and South Korea data and you look what China and South Korea did, you can see that their curves are not only blunted outside of Wuhan, so Chinese areas outside of Wuhan, blunted curve, and South Korea, blunted curve. If you look at their curve today, they're already on the far end of their epidemic curve. Of course, none of those countries are fully back to work, and so that's what we worry about too. Secondly, there was a series of scientific articles published, and I know you've seen them too, about surface contamination. I think none of us really understood the level of surface piece. So we're still working out how much is it by human-human
don't know what
transmission
surface-
and how much is it by surface.
Yeah.
This is why those fundamental
See?
guidelines were put
Surface.
out that says don't expose yourself to surfaces outside
Take
the
a
home.
knife.
Basically, what
Cut
those
her down
guidelines
open.
are is don't
Open the
expose
sides up.
yourself to excess
Inside.
number of persons who could be asymptomatic
Germs
and
can be
infected, and
on the
then
surface
person-to-person
or
contact.
they can
And
be
don't
up in there,
expose yourself
like
to
inside of
surfaces
there.
that could have had the virus on it, for which on hard
Yes.
surfaces, I know we had the cardboard
Clean
issue
your
about
hands,
shipping. Hard
clean your
surfaces,
face,
not shown
clean
in
your
fabric
bunghole.
as much or in
Okay?
cardboard, but hard
6
surface
foot social
transmission.
distancing at
These
the
are
minimum.
issues that we haven't had to deal with before with the level of respiratory
Sanitize
infections.
your
And that's
hands.
why we have this concern.
Sanitize
That's
your
why
mind.
the President put out the guidelines.
Okay.
And so it's to cover both of those pieces. That's all new science, all new models. I think many
And
of you
make
have
sure
the
when you
Imperial
go to the bathroom,
study
okay,
available and looked at the impact of those. That's the first
wash
time
your
those have been
hands
modeled as a
and wash your
comprehensive
face.
approach to
These are
mitigating
super important things. Okay? Just clean. Clean everything. Mm-hmm.
Expand the use of investigational drugs against the virus, but that FDA scientists are warning that this could put patients at risk.
I haven't
Is
seen
something
the
you're
article.
looking at?
No, I haven't seen the article. We are making a lot of progress therapeutically. I will say that, but I have not seen that article.
What ding? Oh, oh, okay. Sorry, that's my cell phone.
Are you considering shutting down
I silenced
travel to prevent the spread of the virus? And we've
Cell phone
heard
has been
from
silenced.
industries like
You
the
see, I forget
airlines
that the
who are
mic is
seeking relief.
right close
What
here,
other
so
industries
it's
or
probably
what,
blasting your
how exactly is
eardrums.
your administration
My apologies.
going to determine which industries and businesses
Well, there are certain industries that people.
You guys don't know what a text
the
tone
airlines
sounds
would
like?
be number one if you look at what's going on. They go from having the best year they've
Okay.
ever had to having no passengers because of what we've had to do.
Gia, you want to come
in
on?
this war.
You said you're getting ready to join us pretty soon, right?
So, basically,
You wanna hop on and say hello?
what the industries are. And what we want to do is we want to make sure they all stay together so that after the war is won, we can immediately go right back up to where we were and even beyond. I think we're going to go beyond where we were. A lot of people are saying that, by the way. We're poised to do that. But we have to win the war first. Yeah, please go ahead.
Follow up on that. Treasury proposed
Novel.
$150 billion today for those
It's a
industries,
novel.
but their proposal doesn't detail
They should
which
say
industries would get that money
fictional
and how much.
coronavirus
so aside
narrative.
from the airlines, which you just mentioned, what about the cruise industry, the hotels?
Fear-mongering
How much of that money do you see them each
We're
year?
talking about all of it. Haven't detailed it yet. We have detailed it to senators and to members of the House. We have been talking about it, and we're coming up with numbers. Haven't gotten it
By the
yet.
time Omar gets on
But,
here, it's going to
certainly,
say
hotel industry, the
in
cruise
this
ship
remaining
industry, the airlines, those are all
immediately.
prime candidates, absolutely.
Or maybe this
Border,
is
sir,
my
when you say
opportunity to
temporary,
protect
the Northern
alternative
Florida, when you say temporary, which is what you said in your
video
tweet, does
hosting
that mean
websites.
30 days?
I would say
Good
30
idea,
days,
eh?
and hopefully at the end of 30
Let's see.
days we'll be in great shape. Jeff, please.
Zoom alternative.
Millennials and others perhaps not taking some of these warnings as seriously as you would like. Some of those people also
Okay,
seem
Google
to be your
Hangouts, we
supporters,
tried that.
conservatives who may be quoting some of what you said
Zoom
at the beginning of
alternative.
this, comparing it to the flu.
No,
What is your
time,
message to them
limits.
to really follow what you've been saying so far? And
Yes,
are you
it's
concerned that
a
they're
novel,
still listening
it's a
maybe
fictional.
to some of your earlier comments rather than your more recent ones?
Well, I think my earlier comments are to be calm.
Skype.
I do
Can you
want
have?
people to be
Can
calm.
you host
Because
multiple
when this
people on
is
Skype?
It's just a question of time.
Or no?
And I wanted to go quickly. So based on the fact that I wanted to go quickly, I hope they just listen to what we've
Easy
been saying over the
talks.
last period of time. We don't want them gathering, and I see they do gather, including on beaches and including
What about
on
GoToMeeting?
restaurants, young people.
That's what Adam Carolla was
They don't
plugging
realize
forever
that
now.
they're feeling invincible.
GoToMeeting.com.
You felt invincible when you were very young, but they were feeling totally invincible, or are feeling that way, but they don't
Easy
realize that
Talks.
they can be carrying lots of
Premium
bad things
and
home to
premium.
their grandmother and grandfather and even their
You can add
parents.
100 people to
So we want
conference
them
free of charge, and
to
there's
heed
no
the advice.
expiry
We need the
time.
advice, and I think it's getting through. I do believe it's getting through, Jim.
If they're watching,
Please.
what do you say to them if they're watching? Sorry.
If they're-
Telephone
There are a
dial.
lot of them watching. A lot of these people at home, these young people.
Well, I think I just said it.
I was going to say, what do you
Heed
say
the
to them?
advice. Heed the advice. I just said, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
Skype is affected by poor internet connectivity since it is voice.
Okay. Say it.
Voice
Dave
over
Martha,
internet
talking about
protocol.
China, you've been very clear about who you think
Easy
is to
Talk?
blame.
Maybe we'll
for
try
what
Easy
we're
Talks.
doing
Let's try
with
Easy
viruses.
Talks.
Not think. No. I
We're
don't
gonna
think.
try
I
something
know
different.
where it came from. I don't know if you'd say
40-minute
China's to
limit.
blame. Certainly, we didn't get
God
an
damn
early
it.
run on it. It would have been helpful if we knew about it earlier. But it comes from
Can
China.
Skype host
And,
multiple people?
It's not a question about that. Nobody's questioning that.
Senator Cotton is saying that they should be
I'm just gonna
punished
end
in
up
so
paying
many
$10 a
words
month.
for
That's the
inflicting this on the American people. Do you feel that way about
Well,
it?
I have a lot of respect for Tom Cotton, and I know exactly what he's been saying. And there are those people that say that. So we'll see what happens. Thank you. Go ahead. It's your turn. Go ahead. Please. He's been waiting a long time. Please. You've had your hand up so nicely for a long time. It's your time.
Thanks, sir. We've seen the Chinese government kick out reporters from the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Washington Post. What is your message to the Chinese when it comes to transparency at a moment when you still have reporters asking you questions here at the White House?
Yeah, I'm not happy to see it. I don't. I have my
Audio.
own disputes with all three of those media groups. I think you know that very well. But I don't like seeing
New
that at all.
call.
I'm not happy
Maybe let's
about
try
that at all.
Skype. I already have
Yes,
Skype.
please.
Okay, so we're gonna do a
Do you believe that China is
Skype
inflicting
meeting.
this upon our
and
country?
anyone
No, I don't
join.
believe they're inflicting. I think they could have given us a lot earlier notice. Absolutely. Please. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. President, your credibility ratings are very low. There was a recent NPR poll.
Who are you asking that question?
I'm asking.
Because I see that they're very high. If you look, I'm 95% of the Republican Party. We just had a poll that was done by a very reputable
can
group
talk shit to you
where
directly.
I'm beating Sleepy Joe Biden by a lot
Sleepy
in
Joe.
Florida, in the state of Florida, and in
Right.
other states.
Do
So
I
I
not
don't
have Skype
really
on
know
here?
who you're talking
That's
about.
the
Right, Jennifer, go ahead, please.
Guess I better go get it. Download Skype.
Explain to them what's coming. What was their
I
reaction?
did, and they explained to me where they're coming from. I mean, they went from, as I said, full planes, packed, the best year they've ever had by far, to boom, one day empty because of what we have to do to win this war, or we would have
Skype.com.
a level of death like people haven't seen before. So they've been fantastic. I mean, they've been great. But
Skype for
they went
desktop.
from being extremely
Skype for
happy to being people
Okay.
that are running
1
companies that
minute
are
left.
going to need some help, and we'll help them, Jennifer.
Would you be willing to give us an update on how that's going? We've been getting some reports that
Oh, I wanted
counties
to
have
see
been
how
having
Oz did
difficulty
that.
getting.
Well, it's
He's
going. I
Oz
mean,
is
there's a
like
lot of
2,300 last time I checked.
influx to those loans, as you can imagine. A lot of people are looking at it, but we're going to be increasing funding a lot. They're very well prepared to do what they have to do, and the SBA is doing a fantastic job. She is doing a really good job, the administrator. Jeff?
A couple questions for Dr. Burks,
Yeah.
if I could.
Dr. Bergen, French researchers have had some luck with
2,500, nice.
in shortening the duration of disease. Is that something
This
that
is
might
good.
be in the arsenal of therapeutics here in the United States?
I think
Thank
we're
you for
exploring
everyone who
every one
donated
of
on either
those
side.
issues.
This is
The
very,
president
very
asked for a
helpful.
critical briefing on that today. He opened with that. It is more than that single
Thank
drug.
you for donating.
There are other
Sky,
drugs that
okay.
individuals are looking at. Just to go back to what we've talked about many times, there is
Where is it?
things that look really good in cell culture against the virus that may look good in small animals and then don't have an impact in humans. And so those are the pieces that we're looking at very carefully. Of course, there's always anecdotal reports, and we're trying to figure out how many anecdotal reports equal real scientific breakthroughs.
Are you confident of the seasonality of coronavirus?
All we can do is look at the past to inform the future. We know what SARS looked like. We also know, and I just want to put this out, I know you can get it online, look at the curve in
Now is a
China
good
and look at the
time
curve in
to
South Korea. Those curves were accomplished in still the
Other
winter season.
video.
And so we're trying to understand what those relationships are. We're very interested in the curves in Italy because of their different approach, and we're following every single country's curves. And so all we can do is look at prior
I'm following your
coronavirus
curves,
and
baby.
prior respiratory infection RNA viruses. These are RNA viruses. When you look at flu in the northern hemisphere, when you look at parainfluenza and some of the other cold viruses, and if you look at SARS, that's the way the peak normally occurs. But that is a November to April. We all started later. And so you're asking me to predict based on a later start, and that's what we're trying to really
This
look
woman
at
is like,
China and
she's
South
kind of
Korea
like a
to really
sweet person, like sweet-tempered, that
A question for Secretary Wilkie, if you don't mind,
just
or you can
like
answer if you'd like. How many veterans of those that need
just
to be
knows
tested
nothing,
have been
like
tested?
zero.
Those that have needed to be tested, we believe we've caught most of them. Right
Amazing.
now, we have 44 veterans who have tested positive. Sadly, one has passed in Portland. We are working with state labs and private companies to make sure that
A vet
testing
died
is
in
available.
Portland of the novel coronavirus
Because the president
narrative
had us
novel,
out aggressively
made-up
early,
story.
we have been in a better place than most healthcare systems in the country. I cannot predict, as Dr.
I don't
Burke
know if
said,
Omar's taking long enough
when the
to
next
talk
surge
anymore.
will be, if it will be. But
So nobody else wants to jump
one of
on?
the
No,
things
Laura?
that we do at
You don't want
VA is that we prepare for national emergencies, be they national disasters or epidemics. We started preparing for this. We started stockpiling equipment. Our equipment is stable, and I think that's in large part because of the instructions the president gave.
But do you have a number
Oh, I
of
can
how
see
many
who's
have been
on.
tested out of the number that
We've
you
tested
Sophia.
several hundred. I can't give you the
Maybe we can just call
Yeah, we've tested several hundred.
Guyford and
Yes,
see
we've
what's
tested several hundred. I don't know
in
exactly.
Singapore.
I do know that 44 veterans have the virus.
Maybe we can just
Most
call
of those are
Guyford and say,
quarantined.
what's up? Guyford's like, what the fuck? You don't call me during such a crisis time as novel coronavirus? This isn't allowed. Guyford's not picking up.
So very early on in each one of these
Okay.
cases, you look at all of the
What?
countries.
Why is it still going on?
The mortality is higher at the beginning because you're
Okay.
diagnosing
Guyford doesn't want to talk.
the ones who came in quite
Who else
and
do
I
we
just want to
have
remind
here?
the American public
Melissa,
that still the
Marissa,
majority, the risk for
Ian.
serious illness in the
I don't know
majority
how
of
many people
Americans
do.
are low. But that doesn't mean that you can't transmit it to one of those higher risk
Eli
groups.
Buchanan.
And that's why we're asking for all Americans to take responsibility. You're seeing mortality or
Contacts
deaths
of
today
saints,
from
okay.
infections that occurred 2 to 3 weeks ago in general.
People.
The other thing that you're seeing
Messages.
is the dramatic and very
Skype is
difficult
owned by
impact
Microsoft.
of this virus
I
in
refuse.
And that's why very early
Participate
on,
in that
the president, vice
bullshit.
president had us come out, and
Says
CMS put those very strict
Okay.
rules in place. And everybody
Omar
thought
has
we were being
morals,
too
apparently.
strict and keeping loved ones away from their family and nursing homes. If we're going to solve this with a lower death rate, we have to protect the elderly because of their percent is much higher in
Guthrie's half
mortality
asleep.
than any other age group.
It's
Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, there's reporting that the federal government has a plan that shows that this coronavirus outbreak might last as long as 18 months. Are you seeing those numbers? Could it
No,
just
we're not
actually
seeing
last?
that.
And then my second question is, there are at least one White House official who used the term Kung Flu, referring to the fact that this virus started in China.
Kung Flu.
Is that acceptable? Is it wrong? Are you worried that
What's up,
that
Thomas?
having this virus be talked about as a Chinese virus, that might
I wonder who said that.
quote
Do you know who said that?
that I'm not sure the person's name, but would you condemn the fact
Say
that
the term
on
again.
YouTube.
a person at the White House used the term
Just the term.
Kung Flu? My question is, do you think that's wrong, Kung Flu? And do you think
Kung
using the
Flu.
term Chinese virus that puts Asian Americans at risk, that people might target them?
No. I think they probably
So Omar is
would agree with it 100%. It comes from China.
so Omar is
There's nothing
boycotting
How about the last
Skype.
question? Please go ahead.
Okay.
Say it.
Switching gears to a larger question here.
Firearms?
We've seen that before the pandemic, there were a lot of Americans that were already alienated. We saw deaths of despair increasing through suicide and other things. Now, as these individuals, a lot of times in rural parts of the country, are self-isolating, what is your message to those individuals, and what do you hope that individuals, communities, and churches will do to reach out to
My
them?
message is to all Americans, but to those Americans who are going through a lot, we love them, we're with them. and we
Hey,
will not let
Gayatree's
them
here.
down. Thank you all very
She's in the
much.
chat. Maybe she's gonna come on the show. Gayatri, you can come on and hang out with me and Omar. It'll be a party. We can talk about germs and viruses and all kinds of bullshit. Trump. Virons equals poisons. Well, that's it for that party. That particular party is now over. Og Telez is at 2,500. Mr. Ron is at 786. And that's that. I think, oh, no. I do need to do something. Okay. So first I need to go to Twitter. I need to find Mr. McAfee. Hey, Ashley. Ashley, you want to come on? This is free for all time. It's time for everyone to come on, share your most honest, deepest truth with the world, right? During a time of crisis, we lower our borders. Just basically whatever the news says, do the opposite. That's what Matt says all the time. I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, we're on Twitter. So I need to find Mr. McAfee. I'm assuming he'll just be in here pretty soon. Okay. Where you be, McAfee? Tracy Beans. China occupies Italy. Welcome home, babe. Here we go. John McAfee. And at Mrs. McAfee is back, so I just need to search his feed and find out when he shared her email. Although my last post for a while. Uh-oh. McAfee's going dark. Boo. I need someone to help me promote Ron. Come on, McAfee, you can't go dark right now. I'm 74. Can't touch anybody. How much longer? I don't know. I'll be on for a little bit. I don't have any commitments until 1:30, which is in 10, 11, 12, 3.5 hours, but I do need to shower and eat before that. Because we're moving today. We're moving into our first stable place ever in my entire existence. No, that's not correct. I had some stability before, when I was about 0 to 18 years old. But as far as having my own place with a non-corrosive viral entity as a partner, or just not having real shitty roommates, haven't had that since. And when I was with my parents, I had 8 siblings, so this is the first time that I'll have my own actual space. I'll be ready to do some things with it, with a partner that's good, and not siphoning off every last ounce of energy that I have. Thieving. So this is good. This is very nice. We're at the top of a 7-story building, something like that. It's very beautiful. I'll show you guys all what it looks like at some point. I don't think McAfee's going to help me, actually. Pretty sure McAfee's not going to help me. This is probably a waste of my time. Yeah, we're pretty excited about it, actually. We're pretty excited. It's been a long time. We've been in Oregon for November, I think, September. When did we come to Oregon? It was like September, I think, something like that. October. We've been here for at least 4 or 5 months. And it has been a wild fucking ride. Can't share about most of it. Can share about some of it. I watched The Green Mile. You never watched The Green Mile before, Gayatri? Where he's like, and all those bugs come out of his mouth? Or no, they didn't come out of his mouth, they came into his mouth. That guy, the black dude, drank the poison out of whoever had their virus. No more Wi-Fi, went back to Ethernet. What's prompting this, Tom? You just feel like it's time to just cut everything? That's good. You cried like a baby to sleep? Last night? Yeah. Okay. So I can have me, and then me. I think I'm going to have the double Gary phenomenon repeat itself this time. Because I know I have... Toss your phones for landlines. Oh. YouTube is giving me conflicting reports about how many people are watching this. On this one it said 15 for a little while, and on this one it only said 11. Now they both say 12. Look at how many Garys there are. 1, 2, 3. 3. 3 of me, and they're all doing different stuff. Hold on one sec. Saki, you want to say hi? In case Andrea is watching this, which she probably isn't. She could be watching this. Andrea, are you watching this or listening? You want to say hi to your dog? She's with Miss Bailey, so there's like a relatively small chance that she might be up in here. Come here, son. Come here. Come here. Okay. Oops. Here's the Ewok. Say hello, Ewok. Hello. No licking allowed. Sorry. Saki's breath and things aren't the greatest, but we still love her, right? Yeah? Even though you're a crazy Ewok, I know you want to lick me right now, don't you? You're going to try to sneak attack me from 2 inches away. Saki the Ewok. When Levette's tendrils were trying to follow us out of Las Vegas, even 5. Yeah, once we get back to Fresno, the tendrils were still trying to follow, so Saki had to help me snip those off. Right, Saki? Yeah. Yeah. Saki's a powerful being. Aren't you? Implacable. Okay. All right. Yep. What's up? What is up? I can tell you something. Probably. What do you want? How are things in Levette? What do you mean? Levette is not a country. Levette's a human. Oh, in Las Vegas? Levette's sort of a dark arts practitioner that is unaware that that's what she is. We were not interested in staying in that energy for very long. And Las Vegas is... Whew. Not interested in Las Vegas. Also, God is in Las Vegas. Mr. Brian Tate is all up in that business. Look at this. Nobody's left. The thing is still going. Yeah, when we were at Levette's, like, all kinds of timelines were trying to impose into my clarity and my... They were trying to impose uninvited. Although, you know, we invited ourselves there, so... Whatever. I'm assuming Omar is going to come at some point. Yeah, but she was just repeating this. She sounded exactly the same in person. I couldn't even, like, when I was talking to her, like, 2 inches away, I couldn't even, like, look into her eyes and, like, find somebody in there. It's very difficult. Gatekeeper, as somebody described. Not my style. Well, maybe Omar's not going to show up. Maybe that's just it. Maybe that's it for the show. Maybe that is it for the show. Let me see if I can show you guys a picture of the apartment. It's called Broadway Heights, I think. Broadway Heights. Portland. Images. Yeah, this is it right here. This is it. This our home. Pretty happy about it. I'm pretty happy about it. You taking off, Derek? Your plans are siloed? I don't think that this thing is going to last that long. But maybe. I don't know. I mean, we need to just get rid of the parasitic aspect of the economic system, which is interest. It's not difficult to figure out why problems are happening. By having interest, you literally force unending expansion. I've said this many times. If you start with a footprint of 20 people and they're doing transactions with some sort of monetary supply and you add in 10% interest on a lot of the exchanges, at some point there's not going to be any money left in there. It has to come from an outside source. And that literally, by that very simple aspect of interest, means that the thing that started off with a finite footprint has to keep expanding. Therefore, you need more people, more resources, more land. And eventually you have to go out into space, and then the virus will just keep going. And it's just identity. It's nothing difficult to understand. Alright, Derek, have fun chopping plastic, okay? I hope it's being voided out because it's viral. It will keep expanding forever, if unchecked. Viral economics. Will I be back online later? Probably not today. At 1:30 we're going to the apartment to sign paperwork and get the keys and whatnot, so then I work from 3:30 to 11:30. Yeah, we're very happy. We're quite happy. Doesn't look like a pandemic or a simple virus outbreak. It's a whole lot of things that are happening on a multi-dimensional level, all through the levels.
Hello.
Oh, Omar's here. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. It's fine, like always.
Who's in here?
Just me.
Oh, okay. Have you been doing a monologue?
I've been making fun of politicians for the most part.
So monologue.
Monologue, yeah. That's what I'm best at.
Well, I think that's what the YouTuber format is traditionally, right?
Mm-hmm. You talk
Kind
to
of like
yourself.
a subconscious spewing of some topic of some sort.
Yeah.
Because I never really understood it. It seemed like this is supposed to be like I'm in the room with somebody, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I get it because it's not weird, but
It's kind of weird.
my mind.
It's a little
Well,
bit
my
weird.
mind likes to do efficient things, so I read really fast because I've been reading since I was a little kid, and I thought, well, this is kind of like reading a book, but really, really, really slow because you have to listen to the person tell you the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's like reading a book that you're writing while you're reading it. So it's more
Well,
fun.
the person watching later doesn't get that experience.
Well, they can get it right now because it's live. So if someone wants to help edit the book, they can just write a comment and they'll be editing.
Well, yeah, but that's a new paradigm now. I was just going in a linear trajectory with the other way.
I don't do linear. What are you talking about, Omar? I've never done linear once.
Comparing books to just like a YouTube. Like, say I found you in a week from now, and you stopped making videos, then that would be the only book of Gary. And it couldn't be that way that you just said.
Right, yeah. Like if you found me and then I had just disappeared off of the internet, then yeah, you'd have a linear Gary. Most definitely.
Yeah, exactly. There was no point.
I don't think that would be problematic necessarily. You'd just be like, where's Gary? You know?
No, but it just narrows the gap with, and this is just my brain trying to make a point. It narrows the gap with the comparison of it being like a book, but slow.
Yeah. But if you think about it, as long as there is, an actual being that's more than two-dimensional in complexity that's reading a book, that being is making it multidimensional by reading it and inserting all types of possibilities and hypotheses and other possible linear tangents.
Say hi to Samir for me.
Samir? What? Is Samir still
That
around?
sounds like... I think so, but that sounds like a Samir thought.
No, that's a Gary thought. That's what I do when I read books. Like, I don't just try to sit in the exact wording of it. I try to imagine, because books are, it's a universe in and of itself. It's the mind of the person who created it. So by reading the words, the finite amount of words that were written, you can get a glimpse into what their universe is if you peer.
So you're saying that you try to extrapolate from what they're saying, what they're like, or try to imagine the universe that they write about more?
Yeah,
or both, or maybe.
Kind of both. Because, like, I don't know, I try to feel into the actual author. Like this book. I'm reading this book right now. The Fifth Wave. I don't know if you've heard of it.
What's the author?
Rick Yancey.
I haven't. It's kind of an innocuous title, but what's it about?
It's really good. It's an alien invasion story, but it's very atypical as far as alien invasion stories. Very atypical. And it's you know how some books are written with sort of a mature perspective, like for adults, so to speak. Like this one is kind of written a little more innocently, so there's not a lot of raunchy stuff or hardcore like sex scenes or sort of like it's kind of moral in how it's written.
Interesting.
Because some authors are very liberal with letting their sort of internal subconscious just like spill out onto the book, because they're free to sort of like force the reader to deal with their own bullshit, as long as the reader
like Dean Koontz can't stop talking in circles and swearing.
I don't know if I've even read one Dean Koontz book. What's his most popular work?
I don't know. There are too many of them, and they're all way, way, way too long, and they all seem like the same thing just for hundreds of pages. Usually they're like 900-page books. Mm-hmm. They're, give or take, they're huge. I don't know, and they never come out they either come out in a very, very big hard copy, which is like half the size of a fucking TV tray.
Wait, Omar, you want to prank call a telemarketer with me?
Isn't that domestic terrorism? I used to do prank calls when I was in high school, but I think
Omar, we have a very important call. Hello? Hello? Excuse me? Yes, I would like to buy your... Oh my god, they just hung up on me. Okay, that was not fun.
I was kidding.
It's not domestic terrorism. It's domestic terrorism to call people unsolicited.
Is it, technically?
No, as per Gary's definition.
Oh. I just know that it's really weird because you get all these calls, but then if you call somebody and they can tell that it's a person, suddenly they're like freaked out because it's an intrusive action, but then they don't view all the... Do you see what I mean?
No, I don't, because I wasn't paying attention. Can you repeat that, Omar, please? Sorry. Just repeat that whole thing.
You get all these ads, calls, like, I get 3 or 4 calls a day the days that I actually turn my phone on, and it interrupts whatever I'm doing, and it says, like, spam risk, telemarketer, and it's like, I could answer it, but it's the same thing every time. It's like a computer leading in, and then it wants to tell me something, and then a person might pick up, but if we just called somebody, like, randomly, just dialed a number and got a voice on the other end, and then said, "Oh, yes, hello, I kicked your dog," or like the Kripal skit, that would be viewed as an intrusive action, and then they would be upset about it. But they're not upset about all the telemarketers. It's just par for the course. So that's a weird contradiction.
Maybe. I mean, they didn't used to have any restrictions on telemarketer calls, I feel like. The level of actual law around that particular subject has been upped. I don't know if it's full, but...
I think it's gotten worse, actually, since they put the restrictions in, because I get more calls. I leave my phone off, because it just rings and it's never actually a person.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a useless device, and it's like, I would like to talk to actual people, but when I turn it on, it doesn't actually, nobody ever calls me.
Oh,
so
you mean like,
okay with that.
You mean like even if it was a telemarketer, you'd like to talk to them, just have a conversation?
Dude, in high school, I used to make prank calls. And one of the things that I did, although I only used it like 3 or 4 times, was go to Radio Shack, and they had this thing called a tone dialer. And it was this little handheld device where it had a number pad on it, and a pound sign, and the asterisk. And there were some plans on the internet where you could open it up and change like 2 parts in it. And then you could use it to call any number. But what I did instead was I took a micro cassette recorder, those little teeny tapes that used to have in answering machines. And I held up the micro cassette recorder with a thing called a telephone receiver adapter. I don't remember what the technical name is, but it's like a little plug. And you put the plug on the earpiece. And then it had a line in, like a headphones jack, like a plug. And you plugged the line into the micro recorder. And then I put money into the payphone. And then the payphone made a little noise when you put in money. And so then I turned up the volume on the micro cassette recorder, and then I fed that into the memory bank of the tone dialer that I got from Radio Shack. And then I could go up to any payphone, and like I said, I only did this 3 or 4 times because I realized what I was doing. But I kept it in my backpack in case I needed to call my parents and I didn't have any quarters. But I tested just calling numbers in my area code, like a couple of friends. And then I tried a couple long distance numbers. And what I would do is just go up to the payphone at school during lunch and pick it up and held the little box up to the earpiece. And I got the dial tone. And then I pushed the P1, was the preset that I had for quarters. And then P2 was the preset that I had for dimes, and then I had one for nickels. And I would hit P1 however many times I needed, and then the call would go through, and it would ring, and they'd pick up, hello? hey.
Wait, so what is the prompt exactly, though? What is the actual prompt that you're sort of mimicking?
Putting money into the payphone.
Like the weight of the coin, or the sound of the coin, or like what exactly is?
Well,
what is it
back
reading?
in the day when you put money into the phone, and we had analog phone systems, the payphone, it was using a system called pulse dialing, or DTMF, digital tone modulation frequency signaling.
Mm-hmm.
And the payphone had no internet connection, so it needed a way to tell the telephone signaling trunk, which is the fancy word for the machines that made the phone work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pick up a payphone, it's communicating with underground lines, and then it sends signals to a box somewhere, and then that box somewhere is in a big building, and then that building makes the phone call work. So it's telling it's sending the signal that money has been put into the payphone.
Yeah.
But you could hear it vaguely inside the earpiece back in the day. So that was the...
Oh, so it was actually making specific tones per quarter or dime or whatever, like...
Yeah, a quarter would be like 4 fast tones, a dime would be like 3 fast tones, and a nickel would be 2 fast tones.
Oh, okay. I see. So you just recorded those noises and then applied each one to a specific button or whatever.
Yeah, and then if the call was 50 cents, I would hit the quarter button twice. And it would beep 8 times and the call would go in.
How old were you when you did this?
16.
So you were hacking the payphone, basically.
Well, I read something on the internet and figured that it was really an interesting idea and wanted to see if it worked.
But then you felt guilty after 3 or 4 times?
Well, yeah, because I was raised with a moral imperative, and I realized that, like, I could easily call China or something, and, like, not that the phone company would be hurt by it, but just that it felt like I was getting something for nothing because I was using a service that I didn't construct myself, i.e. the phone system.
Yeah, right. I wanted to take...
I might be weird, but I was taught to, if you want something, then build it yourself, and then you can use it as much as you want. But if you use somebody's something else, you should play by their rules.
Yeah, it's the same thing as, like, playing a game of chess or checkers. Like, if you don't follow the rule set, then nobody has any fun whatsoever. At least, like, you have to play within that constriction.
Yeah, and that's a fairly reasonable assumption for people getting along. It's not a bad thing, like, people see it as these days, like, no, the Matrix is... Well, if you're using money, then play by those rules. Otherwise, fuck off and do something else. Make a new system.
Right, exactly. I wanted to take a second to, first off, if anybody else wants to join this chat, feel free. I'm not going to stay on for too much longer because I have some things to do, and also Ashley said, I would love it if someone called me and said hi and not have it be spam. So I want to invite Ashley on if she'd like to come and chat for a couple minutes.
Ashley, eh?
Ashley McLean.
Oh, I don't know her. Bring her on.
Yeah, she's the one who started the fundraiser for AUG and even got me started mentally with the idea that, not started, but she kind of kicked my idea to do the fundraiser for Ron just off of that. Kind of motivated me a little bit.
Oh, cool. By the way, we have like 40 people on the site now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
On the re-engineered My Tribes?
Yeah.
Okay, Ashley said she wants to join. So, Ashley, I'm just going to post a link here in the chat again. So just click on that link. And if you're on a computer, it might prompt you to download a small, deal so you can actually hop on. I'm not sure how it will work if you click that link on the phone. It might work anyway, but just click that link and it will give you some instructions on how to join. So Omar, while I have you on here, we'll have time. I guess I'll go and try and make my profile. I can't promise that I will be spending X amount of minutes on there or not, but I'll try and swing by here and there. Was it mytribes.net?
Yep.
mytribes.net. Does our old profile have anything to do with it, or it's all you have to make everything new?
No, it's completely new.
Okay. Join now. Account name.
And your email address will show up on your profile, so just use one that you don't mind people contacting you at.
Oh, I don't care. I've shared my email address multiple times, and I've never really been spammed through that. Account name, Gary the Snail.
That'll, by the way, before you hit submit, that'll show up on your main profile, so that's the name field.
Should I just put my regular name?
Yeah, Gary Warmer Dam.
Okay. Fair enough. Gapua.
Hi, Francesca.
Oh, that's another thing that is on my to-do list, is to get a cat. Once we're moving in today. We're moving into our apartment.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was
That's exciting.
like, we got to get in before the world ends. At least get in there first and have one day of stability, and then it can fly to shit if it needs to after that. Create the password. Okay. I guess I can save it. Alright, I'm in.
Sweet. I will send you a friend request.
Okay. Edit cover. Upload and crop. Select file.
I tried to pick something fairly innocuous so people don't feel like uploading a cover, but yeah, feel free to change it, of course.
Yeah. Why can I not search my pictures? I could just put my other sort of things that people already know of, like those pictures I've drawn before. The one that's on the snail show itself. It's black and white one. Yeah, I'll just do that. People will be able to recognize me that way. Upload. Does it take a second to refresh? Submit. Okay, I got the new cover picture. Now I'll do one for the little blurb too. Edit cover. That where it says G, does that change too, or just the back?
Yeah, that should be the picture of your face.
So is it edit profile? Edit
just
cover.
No, cover is the big one on the top.
Okay. Just click on it, maybe.
Let me look at mine so I can.
Oh, here we go. Upload a profile picture.
There you go.
I got you. So I just need to. Where is a picture that is reasonable? I could just take one. Maybe I'll do me and a cat. I have a very nice picture of me and a kitty. It's not my cat, but...
By the way, Ron's fundraiser has 90 views.
On your site?
Yeah.
Sweet. You think it's possible for him to get to 1,400, or you think that it has lost momentum and people are too scared about coronavirus?
No, I think that'll be helpful. I just invited you to the fundraiser.
Okay. I need to share this picture.
Oh, we got somebody. Is that Ashley?
Probably. Oh, Ashley, is that you? Can you hear me? Usually you have to unmute yourself. Like there's a button that you click.
Yeah, in the upper right.
Yeah. There should be a button that says like mute or unmute. We can't hear you yet.
Oh, and Gary, since I know who you are, I'm going to go ahead and verify your profile so you get the verified profile badge.
Okay. Yeah, Ashley, it should be pretty simple. It should be on the screen somewhere that says, oh, maybe she's gone. Okay, select file. Oh, I wanted to share this with the computer, actually. MacBook Air.
Oh, and you have to log in. You have to log into your email and click the confirm link.
Okay, try again, Ashley. I would like to have you on for a couple minutes. Keep trying. I know it said you were on a Galaxy S10, I believe. Maybe if you have a regular computer, it might be a little easier to navigate. Okay, select file.
Madam President.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, there you go.
Madam President,
Yeah,
I
we
ask
can hear you.
unanimous consent the quorum call be lifted.
Excellent.
Without objection. I call up amendment number 1559 as provided for under the previous order. The clerk will report.
Okay.
Senator from Washington proposes an amendment number 1559 at the appropriate place.
Madam President, I ask unanimous consent this we dispense with further reading. Without objection.
Are you watching?
Thank you, Thank you, Madam President.
Yeah, this is me.
Madam President,
the thing was still on. I thought this was Ashley for a second, but it's not. It's this live streaming thing,
crisis, and I still have never experienced anything like
which we don't need to be actually listening to right now. I can't get the audio to work. Ashley, do you have a computer available or no? I couldn't hear you, no. But it should be something simple, like when you first log into calls, your audio is always muted. Oh, you couldn't hear us either?
Is she using a VPN?
What's VPN?
The hide my ass.
Oh, like a... Ashley, are you using security protocols for your connection? Okay, I've got a profile picture. I've got the background. People will know that that's me for sure.
Okay, just check your Gmail and confirm your account. It's just a link.
Okay. Yeah, Ashley, just try it one more time. We can make it work.
Sometimes Zoom takes a minute or two to kick in for the first time, but it always works after that.
Yeah, it does work eventually. Profile activated. Confirm your email. Okay. And Ashley, I think you mentioned wanting to come on the show anyway to promote the fundraiser. So if you're not able to get on at this moment, we can communicate via email or just Facebook. Are you on Facebook?
Or
I think she's on Facebook.
Or she can join this site if she wants to, if she doesn't like Facebook anymore.
Yeah, go join mytribes.net and communicate with us that way, whichever. Okay, your email address was successfully confirmed.
Sweet. Okay, I just added the verified profile badge to you.
Cool.
So now when people go to your page, they'll see a purple blob with a little check mark in it that says you're verified.
Okay, nice. She says I do, but no camera. I have a TV monitor as a monitor for her computer, so there's no front-facing camera. It should work with your phone, Ashley. It really should work with your phone. I think if you try one more time.
It was showing somebody with brown hair and a black hoodie on. Was that her?
Yeah, whoever came on that one time was her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm assuming that was her. She just said she couldn't hear anything.
Oh.
Mute the gerbils.
It started playing like illegal proceedings. Was that you or was that from her?
Well, I was listening to Trump's coronavirus statement that he made live earlier. That's why I turned this live show on in the first place to listen to that.
Oh, you're brave, dude. I can't listen to the guy talk. I tried for 15 seconds, 20 seconds before, and then I watched one other clip of him in a Space Force jacket with his wife, and it was like the weirdest thing I'd ever seen, so I turned it off.
I've never listened to him live ever once, so this was more of an opportunity for me to do something I'd never done, like a bucket list type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
watched Obama talk plenty of times. That was interesting, but
I didn't get any
not after a
information.
while because he said the same kind of stuff. But
I have no email from Zoom. Wait, sorry. No email from Zoom. What? You can't find Omar's website. It's just mytribes.net. Here, I'll even put it in the thing. Just like that. I just literally took me 3 seconds to sign up. Ashley, I'm going to share my email here. Please send me an email.
it says that she's connecting to audio.
Okay.
So she hit the button. It's just doing its thing, I guess.
Ashley, my email is gapawa1985@gmail.com. I also put it. Omar, can you see in the comments? Oh, you're not on YouTube, huh? Can you guys see my email on there?
No, I'm not on YouTube. I mean, I have a profile, but I'm not on it.
You're not currently on it.
No, I never really use the interactive features. I just listen to videos in the background.
I think Ashley McLean's already on Facebook, so I don't even probably need to. After the COVID-19 storm, we are going to be living off of our thought-made, manifested creations, and you will clearly see it. For you are the creator, living in your core belief structured timeline no more. Free you are to shift into any reality thus made by your creative spirit mind.
Who said that?
Aurora did a repost of somebody, I don't know who this person is. Kip Finn Ulf. You heard of that one?
Isn't it weird that the same exact thing keeps getting repeated by everybody in different ways, like it's a new concept, but it's really not?
Yeah, it's not a new concept at all. It's very ancient. It's the only way that anything has ever happened.
Yeah.
People just forgot.
But it's only funny because it kind of echoes in a macrocosmic sense the Tower of Babel thing. Like, I will be reading and then I'll see this thing and then I'm like, oh yeah, you're just talking about that thing again. Like, oh, man has found fire.
A million different ways to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Ashley, are you? Can you hear us? She's frozen on my screen. Is she like moving on yours?
I think she's probably. Is she in the Pacific Northwest?
I don't know where she's at.
Oh, well, it's probably a case of like 1 or 2 bars of internet kind of thing.
Yeah, probably.
Latency.
Ashley McLean, is she on Facebook?
Where's the chat thing? See if she can send messages to here. Can you see this, Ashley?
I guess I don't have. I don't think I have her on Facebook. She should be able to see the chat, I think.
Can you see that? I just sent 2 messages to everybody.
I haven't seen yours yet. Ashley says, I went in through Google, changed settings, and tried going in through Zoom. It won't let me. I'm in central U.S.
Is she using a phone or a computer?
Yeah, she's using a Galaxy S10.
Oh, okay. So that's a tablet, I think, right?
No, the S10 is just a phone. It's like a...
Oh.
The Galaxy series, yeah, they've been around for a while. They're pretty good phones.
Have you noticed how many more tech problems we have now that we've mostly switched to not using desktop and laptops?
More tech problems?
Yeah. While people can do most things easier, as soon as you go outside of the feature set of something that the phone was expected to do, then all of a sudden it doesn't do it, and everybody can't figure out how to do it because they're not used to doing it the old way or they forgot.
I feel like most people have, and the realm itself has sort of aligned itself to the central timeline, so to speak, which includes an amount of hive mind type movements. So for stability's sake, so like if you're trying to do something that is not on that central line of hive mind, like to application productivity, then you're going off into uncharted territory or where you're not supposed to be in the first place during this time of trying to stabilize the consciousness, because it's all fucky right now. I don't know. Just a thought. Actually,
nice picture.
Yeah? Ashley, I don't know why this is not working. Ashley, go on your iPad. If you have internet connection, your iPad will work much better for Zoom than your Galaxy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You're on an iPad right now, right, Omar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although you're frozen right now. None of you guys are moving now.
Oh, well, I'm frozen because I went to see if you accepted my friend request yet.
No, I didn't. Okay.
You
wow, I already
get
have
notification.
I have 13 notifications and I barely even did anything yet. It's pretty exciting. I think it's good that you added you made them red like how Facebook's are, which is people like things that seem familiar to them, right?
Yeah, by the way, to adjust your notification settings, which I would highly recommend, you tap your head in the upper right, and then you hit settings, and then it'll say profiles, account, email, password, notifications.
Yep.
Hit notifications, and then there's 3 categories to look through. There's on-site, email, and push. Push isn't configured yet because that involves a phone number and a little module that I didn't install. But you're going to very quickly find a whole shitload of emails. And I made it so I can restrict which ones go out on the system level, but I didn't want to do that because some people really like getting a notification when they get a like in email. So just go in there and tailor what you want it to do. Otherwise, it's probably going to bug the shit out of you.
Okay. I'll just turn off email notifications for now. I already have too much email activity anyway, so.
That's a fair bet.
Yeah. I'll be able to see all this when I log in.
But see, most people forget that they did that when they first joined Facebook. They set that up, so I figured I'd let you know just in case you're like, fuck, this site emails me all day. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Good heads up. So you're saying friend request, you'd like to... Okay. Alright, we are now friends, Omar.
Sweet. Does the site work pretty quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Home. See what the home page looks like. Yeah, so anybody who wants to join us on MyTribes, just go to mytribes.net. Omar is the site administrator / creator, right? You made this from scratch or not from scratch?
It's running software from a company that's been around for about 5 years now. But they basically became very frustrated with Facebook, and pretty much any gripe you'd have with Facebook, they've set out to redesign it. And the software is running on my web server, and this is my website running their software. So it has, Ashley, you don't know me, but if anybody else watching this video gets to know me, I was raised by a naval aviation officer and a very loving mother, and they're still married. So I have a high moral imperative. My point is, I don't like how Facebook treats people and treats their data and treats their privacy and censors things. And I'm not saying truthers come in and pollute the site with all of your memes like vaccines are bad. We know they're bad, but the site is there so you can have a safe place to talk and socialize and hopefully build the reality that you want to see, and that's up to you. But it's there so you can share. You can share your posts. They come in to your page as like a blog, so they all organize themselves under my posts. Or you can share an update, which is like to the main public feed. Or you can make albums. You can embed videos on iframes from other sites like YouTube or whatever. But I'm also installing a site-wide messenger as soon as I get $40 more in my bank account. I can buy the messenger and install that. And then it'll have like you know how there's messenger on Facebook with the friends list and the online, the green dot and the red dot and all that?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be exactly like that, except you can actually send files.
Send files?
As well. Yeah.
Oh, like full-on, like, download-style files?
Yeah, like you can send somebody a file or a zip file or a PDF.
That's not allowed on Messenger?
What's that?
That's not allowed on Messenger?
On Facebook? No.
Oh, okay. Oh, look it. She's back. Hi.
It looks like it's working.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Y'all can hear me. I can hear you. Okay, good.
I can hear you too. Yay!
Welcome, Ashley. We do have a repeat. We have a repeat Ashley, but I think I'm going to just remove that one.
Okay.
Are you Indian?
There we go.
No. I don't think so. Maybe. Who knows?
Oh, it says Pridian's iPad.
Pridian.
Oh, Priden. That's my daughter. Yeah.
Oh.
And she's Indian. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
my best friend in high school is Punjabi, so that's why I asked.
Oh, okay. No, they're Cheyenne Arapaho. So.
Oh, Indian.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, how are y'all? Sorry to interrupt.
You're not interrupting. You're joining.
You're not interrupting. He invited you.
Well, I know, but with the difficulty, I didn't know if I would make it. And what's your name again? What's your name?
I'm Omar, and you
Omar.
know Gary.
Yeah. I recognize your face. I couldn't remember your name. Yeah.
Omar has.
I make a lot of noise occasionally on Gary's profile, posting cat pictures and things.
Yeah, I recognize you for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hi.
I've been following Gary for a long time now. Yeah. I don't make much noise on the internet until recently.
Yeah, I don't think I even heard of your name until very recently. I don't. Yeah.
Until recently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've actually been following you for a while. I've commented on your stuff, but only occasionally. I kind of just lay low. And I have a Facebook, but I don't use it anymore. I just recently created a new one just to post Aug's link on and to try to bring everybody together on Facebook. But yesterday or the day before, I was having problems with that. I guess with Facebook's censorship, I was trying to request too many people, and it jammed me up. But there's one on there with a quote and a river rock. I just started it.
Wait, you're saying you're trying to create a group on Facebook to invite people to?
Yeah.
And you're inviting too many people, so Facebook said you're spamming or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can create a group on my page, or you can create a fundraiser as well. But the thing, Facebook search engine doesn't work. My search engine works. If you type in Gary, it'll find everything related to Gary. Posts, comments, groups.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I can join one of those.
Yeah, just create a profile, and then it's a new site, so you'll find him, you'll find me, you'll find Fabian, a few other people that you may recognize, but there's like 45 people, I think, on the whole thing right now, so it's brand new. It's a year old.
Okay.
I just refreshed it.
Yeah, I've been watching y'all get together in your Sunday shows and all that. I just don't comment much.
Oh, cool. Well, also, I put the archives up on trueforum.org.
Okay.
At the top there's a link to the Snail Show. You can click a button, and each button's got the date on it, so you can watch back episodes if you want.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Ashley, do you have a plan for delivering Ogg's funds to him, or you haven't got that far yet?
Oh, sorry, Gary, I forgot one thing. You can post any post from My Tribes. There's a share button for Facebook, so you can like backlink it.
Oh, okay.
So
I
like,
got you.
if you post on My Tribes, you can click the share to Facebook button, and then it'll make a new share.
After I've made it, I can still do that?
After you make the post on My Tribes, yeah, there's a share button. If you click the 3 dots, you can say share to Facebook.
Okay, I'll try it. I made one post. Did you see
So
it?
it's a way to get your friends off of Facebook that want an alternative place. Tell them, hey, come join me at My Tribes, and then they can click and see the content.
Okay, so click the 3 dots, yeah?
Yeah.
Share.
See, Facebook got a head up on the whole world by giving it away to people inside colleges at first, and then they made it like something people would want because there were a certain amount of people that were using it that other people didn't have it, but they heard about it and they got curious. So all those 20,000 people or so they gave it to in colleges spread the word of mouth, and then that's how it took off from there. It just Fibonacci sequenced out.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I have Ron's Denture fundraiser on My Tribes, and I shared that to Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you can make Ogg's fundraiser in there if you want, and then share it to Facebook, and then everybody that's interested in that will join your network, and so on.
Okay,
Make a profile and start using it.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
How do I find this? My Tribes?
.net. In
.net.
MyTribes.net, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, those posts that he was posting, really broke my heart, so I just took it upon myself to start it. I've been following Ogg for 3 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of in the background, kind of like how I watch your stuff, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And, the delivery of it, I'm not sure yet. I'm not even sure if I read somebody had posted right after I started it, good luck with GoFundMe. I guess something happened with them trying to get their money. Did you read that on his Twitter account?
I haven't heard about it.
So when I read that, I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I do know I can give him the password whenever it's time to cash it out or withdraw it. I can give him the password and he can transfer it to a personal account.
Yeah, that might work.
And do that.
Yep.
And, I can record doing that or whatever. I don't know. Other than that, I'm not really sure of my options.
They have very specific rules for that kind of stuff, and they have made it hard. You can use, you can attach, I think, a PayPal account to the GoFundMe.
Okay.
And then you can add or do a wire transfer from the PayPal account into somebody's bank account once the funds are actually in PayPal. That would be the easiest kind of way, because you can't really. GoFundMe is trying to protect themselves from people doing things like tax evasion or tax sheltering. So there's a lot of rules about transferring money from a GoFundMe to a private party.
Yeah, there are a lot of rules. I noticed that. Yeah, it gives me an option, like, if he had a bank account, he could give me the number and I can enter it in. It gives me that option, but PayPal would be safer,
Knowing Og, he probably has a bank account, but doesn't trust that it works.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Has he communicated with you at all when you told him, or is he being silent?
Yeah, he's communicated with me, but it's, in between, because he really is in a lot of pain. So it's just, you know how Og talks. It's real
brief.
Brief, yeah, brief talking. But I think that when it got started and it started raising money, I think that it gave him a lot of relief.
Yeah, I think it just, at least internally, emotionally, I think he saw that he had a lot of support. $2,500 is no joke, especially when the economy's all fucked up right now. Like, that's a decent chunk of change.
Yeah, and then he got the other injury right after it started. He got a different, it was on his other shoulder. He's just getting beat up left and right. Well, not literally beat up, but, everyone's taking hits in their own way,
It looked like he was going to physical therapy or something now, right? Like,
yeah, he started physical therapy. Yeah. I think he's only been, well, actually, I don't know how many days he's been, but he just started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's excited about that. He could finally get back in there. Like he said, it takes somebody else's hands maneuvering the joint. Because at first I was trying to tell him, you can heal all of this on your own by stretching.
Mm-hmm.
Stretch out, eating right, which he already knows all this, obviously. But at first I didn't know how much he knew about, or how much he had gone through with the injury. So, I guess it just takes the physical therapy to heal it, to get somebody else in there.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's good support anyway. Like, that's really all that, with all this virus nonsense, whatever it actually is, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, unless it's actually going to wipe out, a huge chunk of the population. It doesn't matter what it's about. It's just another emergency. Like, if everything's shutting down, it becomes at some point a public emergency, and people have to learn how to, support each other. I think that's really all that we're being called to do here, is just support each other.
Are you Susie?
What's that?
Huh?
Are you Susie?
Susie is Susie.
Somebody just sent me a friend request, and it says Susie Perone at Gmail.
Susie, I think.
Gary, is that somebody you know?
Are you asking if Ashley is Susie?
Yeah, I just got a new friend request from a Susie.
No.
I guess I should get used to this.
No,
okay, I don't know who it is, but I'll accept it.
She's in the chat right now. It's Susie McCormick, I think. She's from Ireland.
Oh, cool.
She said she said I'm signed up, Gary. We are friends. That's me. I think that's her. Is that you, Susie?
Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, then I know who it is now. It's one of your friends.
Yeah, I had her on the show like a year ago.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. What state did you say you were in, Ashley?
What state?
Wisconsin?
No, I'm in Oklahoma.
You're in Oklahoma. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How is it over there, outside, or how is it in terms of the people's response to all of this?
Well, at first, or even up until recently, nobody really paid it any mind. Life went on normally. It's also spring break right now for the kids. So, you know, everyone's out, pretty much at home or just out of town. Well, anyway, everyone was grocery shopping, going places, going out to eat, all the way up until this weekend. And, I don't really have any reason to be out right now, so I don't know what it's like as of today, but I know that everyone's, you know, worried at this point.
Yeah.
We have, you know, we have a few cases here. I don't know what the count's up to now. But it had spread to several counties. But the way I look at it is, you know, we probably get this every year. So I'm just like, you know, I'm just like, well.
It just seems like an overblown flu, right? Like, it still doesn't seem like anything worse than that.
Right. To me, anyway, you know, and I don't know what it's like. Like I said, I haven't been out in a couple days. I think it was Sunday I was at Walmart and the toilet paper shelf was empty. And I just couldn't believe it. Like a little bit of panic had finally set in with everybody, but not overblown. Like you're seeing people fighting on the internet and stuff. Not like that, but just a little bit of hoarding supplies. People were still going out to eat this weekend and everything. So,
yeah.
But I know my boyfriend. He's thinking about. He's a manager and he's thinking about having to take everybody's temperature and stuff to come to work.
Really?
Not because he's panicking, but because it's like, are we going to go with the flow of society, or do we need to be that cautious? Or, you know, like he had a guy sick last week, real sick. He had to send him home, but he's back to work this week.
Yeah. I think it's honestly, I think it's everybody's opportunity to speak from your own self. You know, like if you're in a situation and you're in a work situation, it's like it's our opportunity to just treat very practically what is actually happening, not going into some fear thing, not mimicking whatever some politician is saying. And none of that matters. Like, be in your moment and, you know, respond accordingly. That's all we've ever been supposed to do. But this whole, whatever this realm has been, you know, poisoned by, that's been internally eating everybody away. So it's like Trump said, that part that he said was correct. It's an invisible thing, like the coronavirus or the parasite. You know, it's not the coronavirus. It's the actual mind virus of this planet. It's invisible and it's very powerful and insidious. But
yeah,
it's, at the same time, like it is. As cliche as it sounds, it is defeated by love, like it's defeated by us caring about each other.
Yes. Yeah, and, you know, that's what he's faced with all his guys coming to him for advice, you know, how to protect their family, all this stuff. And I just told him last night, you know, like, well, this is what we've been prepared to do. You know, this is our position within all of it. Try to keep everything.
I think just holding space. I think just holding space, like those of us who have been not having our heads in the sand and we've just been aware of how the thing has been progressing, like people are going to panic. The regular people, the sheeple people, all these ones that have been believing the mainstream narrative, they're going to panic because it's literally like it's the multidimensional nature of our own selves that's coming out. It's not anything other than that. It's not like, oh, I'm finding something out about what the Trump administration has been up to. No, like you're finding out the true nature of your actual self. Like people are going to freak over that. They're not going to freak over. They will freak over external things too, but if you've been hiding from yourself for however long we have in this dimension, like that's going to freak you out coming back to that.
Yeah, I told him, I said people have had years, well, really all of their life, but really the past few years, they've had time to recognize what's going on around them. and they've ignored it for whatever it is that's been in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've ignored it and they've lived on and not taken time to take a second glance at their own life, their own heart. And now it's just smacking them right in the face, you know, but for some people, and
well,
for
no,
others,
you can't
they're
ignore
just
it.
holding.
It's too big to ignore, even if it's fully fabricated. Like, to pull that off, it's not something easy to pull off. Like, if I were to wake up one morning and say, I think I'm going to make up something that's going to scare all the sheeple, and literally every single person is going to be worried about it, and it's going to affect all the infrastructure. I don't know how to do that. Like, however this was pulled off, that's amazing, even if it's made up. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
A worldwide scale, right?
Worldwide, yeah.
I've never seen
it down.
Yeah, they're shutting everything down.
Yeah, you know, I look at it like, are we really shutting society down? I mean, I think everything needs to fall for to rebuild anew. You know, I don't know. It's gonna be a while.
This is just getting started. Like, I feel like the truth community has been saying this and that and the other thing. Something's coming. You know, almost nothing ever panned out. Usually, it's just more negative bullshit. I feel like this actually is a big thing, even though, you know, there's been so much fear mongering and predictions that never happened. But for some reason, like, this is it. This is something that's actually happening. It's actually refreshing itself, or, you know, maybe parts of it need to die. You know, whatever happens, it is big and it's completely worldwide, and we just have to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, there's been little things that have happened that let you know that it was coming. You know, everyone always says the end of the world is coming and all that, but that's but there's been little arrests and little things to let you know to prepare yourself. Not bored and all that, but just prepare yourself mentally and clean your body out, work out, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's internal and external. Like, I've said in the past, and I still feel like this is true. Like, our external world is the subconscious of our higher selves, sort of, so to speak. So, like, if we're projecting this dimension, even if it's from the halls of Amenti or if it's from Becky Barron's like egg-shaped thing, it's a projection. It's a collectively held projection, and, you know, it's driven by emotion. So if you're having a bunch of fear, you're going to manifest some fear thing. If you're holding love and compassion and creativity and excitement, that's what the realm is going to look like.
I just wonder if there's enough of us out there to help all these people. I think there are.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, I think there are. And I think most of us just kind of lay low. You know, I've been watching you on YouTube for a while, so. But I remember when your videos first started.
Yeah.
You were really figuring some stuff out. Like, hold on.
It's crazy. This thing is about to end. I hate to end so abruptly, but we have like 20 seconds left, so.
You're fine.
Cool. I've been listening.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Ashley. I'm glad you came on, and feel free to come on again.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Well, that's that. They just cut the cord and the show's over. Hey, Angela. Hey, Mr. West. Great accent, Ashley. It's all a hoax. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, people. I got things to do now. All right. That's that. Sunday, I have one of Becky Barron's clients is going to come share, and I also have a local Oregonian that we met in a Goodwill, so he's going to come on and talk. I might do both of them live, I don't know. Actually, we're going to be in the other apartment by then, so who knows how the connection will be. But that's what's scheduled for this Sunday. Okay? Yeah, come back on soon, Ashley. Alright, people. I'll see you around, okay? Be safe.